Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals. It's about 5:30 a.m. and I woke up to anxiety. Yeah, I drank some water. Now I'm having a rescue remedy and some juice, and I just feel like I overdid it a little bit yesterday, like walking all those flyers around, in 30-degree weather. So today, I have to practice more self-care, and I think it's better to lure Sammy to the yard than to try to go after her, because, after she saw me, she ran. So I think it's not going to be productive to do that. I'm better off trying to just lure her to the yard. So that's that. But I keep having flashbacks of Stella in the emergency room. And that's what's bringing on the anxiety. It's making me sad, and there's just so much going on over this past week. It's been such a nightmare, and that's what I feel like. I feel like I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still in this nightmare. I just went to the kitchen to get more water and more juice, and I looked at the juice container and I looked at the juice bottle. It's actually 120 calories per 8 ounces, and for some reason I thought I was only getting 60 calories per 8 ounces. Same thing for the apple cider. So I just went back to the calorie list from yesterday. That adds another 120 calories or so, which brings me up to 1175 for yesterday. So that's better. And I'm going to start putting a list together for today. So what's happening is I woke up feeling anxiety, and then I was getting nervous because of the anxiety. Right now I'm shivering and shaking, and I'm cold, I'm shaking. It's the anxiety. So I'm trying to do some deep breathing and to work through it and to tell myself it's okay to feel this, it's okay to feel this. I'm really just trying to self-regulate right now. I need at least another 2 to 3 hours of sleep, so I hope I can get that. It's really easy to want to feel bad for myself. I just want to feel bad for myself and kind of have a pity party. But I'm fighting that urge because I just don't think it will be productive, and I just think it might make things worse. So when those kind of thoughts enter my mind, I've been consciously trying to redirect them in a different direction. I have to remind myself I still have 9 cats in this house to take care of that need my care, and there's Sammy outside wandering around somewhere. I need to get her back in the house, and I have to remind myself that this is not an impossible task, and this is something that I can do. I'm capable of doing this. Because part of me wants to say, it's too much, I can't handle it. That's the internal fight. Part of me is saying, you know what, this is all too much, I can't handle this. But another part of me says, you can do this. You can get through this. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Just focus. Do what needs to be done. That's the mode that I've been in. Just do what needs to be done. Because I don't have a lot of energy for extras, and I think walking all those flyers around yesterday just really took more energy out of me than I actually had. And, I'm still running on adrenaline. Today, I definitely need to slow down and just focus on what's here in the yard and what I have to do, in the house. And, it's back to being a work day. So it's I don't even know what day it is anymore. The past 2 days, it didn't even feel like the weekend. It's a horrible experience. Now my mouth is dry. Now I have dry mouth, so I need to drink something. It's about 8:40 a.m. I feel so horrible. I'm forcing myself to eat a hard-boiled egg because this really helped me. The other day when I felt this horrible, I drank a bunch of water this morning and some juice. I just woke up, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 minutes ago. I'm having anxiety really bad, and my body just feels so drained. I overdid it yesterday. I should not have done everything that I did. So I'm like totally in self-care right now. I have to take care of myself because I have to take care of the cats. So I need to make sure that like I'm stable. I do feel better after like eating just this little bit of hard-boiled egg. I need to breathe and stay calm and get through this episode. I feel like I'm hoping it's just an episode and I just have to push through. It's about 9:10 a.m. and here's Boo. Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Boo. So I've gotten myself dressed. I'm just wearing sweats today, which I normally don't wear, but I need to remind myself that this is a day of self-care. I'm continuing to drink fluids. I had a rescue remedy, which I think definitely helped a lot. I called a friend on the phone who's fairly local. And, I just want to know who's around in case I need something. And I have like this weird congestion in my head. And that was really like troublesome to me when I woke up. I was like, oh no, why do I have this weird congestion in my head? But then I remembered that, I've been eating tapioca pudding right before I go to bed. And that's what dairy products do to me. Whenever I have dairy products, I get like head congestion. I get chest congestion. That's why I don't eat them, because they're very congesting to me. And I've been eating them twice a day. So I've had the tapioca earlier in the day and I've had the tapioca later in the day. And that's not a normal part of my diet. I'm hoping that's why I'm feeling this horrible head congestion. But I'm also feeling just like a little, I don't know if it's like dizzy or woozy. Like it's not full-blown dizzy. It's just kind of woozy. I'm feeling kind of woozy. Yeah, so I'm just trying to keep things calm. All the cats are like super quiet today, which is also like worrisome for me. Here's Simba. Although they were, super quiet yesterday also. I just really, really miss having Stella getting me through my day. Like I feel her loss the most in the morning because she was the first cat to jump on my bed and get pets and, get me out of bed. And at night when I go to bed, because she would be right there jumping on the bed, going to bed. So that's when I feel her loss the most. And that makes starting the day like difficult. Like the other day, 2 days ago when I felt like this, as the day went on, I felt better. So I'm hoping that happens again today. I'm hoping as the day goes on, I start feeling better, except my digestion is like really off. I have to see if I have like some Pedialyte downstairs or something like that, something with some electrolytes in it. I just took one of the stress multivitamins, so I'm hoping I'll start feeling a little bit better from that. I'm going through the motions, I'm getting ready for my day, and I know this is not what Stella wants. Stella does not want me to, beat myself up like this or put myself through this. And honestly, when I was out putting flyers around for Sammy last night, I remember thinking to myself, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be home resting. But instead, I pushed myself because I just wanted to get it done. I was like, no, I'm just going to do it now. I pushed myself through it because I was like, I'm just going to get it done. So I'm not putting any more out today. I put it all around, the most closest houses and stuff. And I honestly think that extending so much energy yesterday, first dealing with the snow and then trying to locate Sammy, is why I'm feeling so poorly today. So I definitely need to step it back today and just kind of put myself in low gear, like slow motion. And first and foremost, take care of myself. I know that Sammy can take care of herself outside. I saw her just after midnight. She can take care of herself. I'm hoping she comes back, in the patio and then in the house. I am concerned that she did run when I was, saying, hey, Sammy. But there's nothing I could do about that right now. Here's Boo. And if I don't take care of myself, then Sammy is not going to have a house to come back to. So I have to make myself priority number one today. The cats are getting crunchies for breakfast. I had some raw food defrosted, but I can't do it. So I put it back in the refrigerator. Maybe they'll have it for dinner. And they're all just getting crunchies for breakfast. Boo's having a scallop. Scallops are really high in taurine, and taurine is really great for panic attacks. In the past, whenever I eat seafood that's high in taurine, I totally eliminate panic attacks. And maybe that's why I did so good yesterday, because the night before I had shrimp for dinner. So I'm going to see if I could do that. The problem is I could not stomach the scallop. I was going to eat a scallop, which I normally love. I normally love scallops. I took one bite of it and I thought I was going to throw up. So I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I gave the rest to Boo. I'm still working on the other hard-boiled egg. And the Lucky 7 got crunchies downstairs also. I'm going to let them up in a few minutes. I am emptying out my dishwasher, which is something I normally do on a daily basis. So I'm just kind of forcing myself to do it. One of the reasons why I have to be on a strict routine with regards to dishes and kitchen cleanup. These are the dishes that are left in my sink. I'm now starting to load the dishwasher. And one of the primary reasons why I have to be really good with washing the dishes and keeping the kitchen prep area clean is because I make raw food for the cat. So for example, this bowl here, that was left over from their dinner last night, and it was like homemade raw food. Normally that would go into the dishwasher and everything would be cleaned overnight, but it sat there because of, the situation with me being out to try to find Sammy. So I am just slowly putting all of this in the dishwasher, and then hopefully later I'll run the dishwasher, and then we'll be more back in the daily routine. Just little things like loading a dishwasher could be so important in some kind of return to normalcy. I reviewed all of the security camera footage from overnight, and the only time Sammy was seen was around 12:34 on that one video that I saw before I ran out to find her. And then the last time I saw her was around 1 or 1:30 when she ran off when I called her. A very big challenge I'm having is that Ox, cousin Oliver, keeps eating all the food that I put out to lure Sammy. So last night I put out another can of tuna, and then a little while later he came by and he was eating it. There's various plates of food around that I think are frozen. Right now it is 33 degrees and it's supposed to go up to 38 today. I'm hoping we get some sun. The more snow that can melt, the better. So I'm gonna try to eat another hard-boiled egg. I'm gonna look at what I ate the other day and see if I could kind of repeat that. I need to just relax a little bit right now. It took a lot of energy for me to kind of get dressed, get ready for my day, and give the cats crunchies, and empty the dishwasher, and then empty the sink into the dishwasher. So I don't want to do too much at once because of what I did yesterday. So that's why I'm going to grab my computer. I'm going to sit on the sofa. I already talked to my day job, and I told them, here's the situation. They're very understanding about it. So I said, I'll do what I can do, but I can't promise full productivity. And they understood. They're like, yeah. They had someone I talked to there had a bad virus a few weeks ago. They're still not feeling good from it. And they told me that what they had to do was just kind of do everything really slow and go down to low gear for stuff. So that's the goal for today. My hair's wet, so I'm not going to go outside with wet hair. Maybe in a little while after it dries, then I'll put some more bait out. Maybe put out a trap. I'm using my pulse oximeter just to check my oxygen levels and my heart rate. Now this heart rate is pretty high for me. My normal heart rate is pretty low to begin with. It's usually in the 50s or low 60s. My oxygen is at 99 now because I've been doing some deep breathing exercises, the belly breath exercises. So what you do is you put your hands on your lower abdomen and you breathe so that you feel your lower abdomen like moving in and out. That's a technique I learned many years ago as far as, reducing stress. So I've been doing that. And this is definitely a helpful tool. But look, you see my heart rate rising. Now it's in like the 80s. I just want it to like hit 69. I'm trying to do the deep breaths to bring it down. I am going to put on I Love Lucy. I'm basically going to try and recreate everything that I did the other day because it worked and the next day I felt really good. So I'm going to work on that. I think what's helping most is the amount of laughter because this has like a live audience and the audience is just like laughing so hard and it's like real laughter. It's not like fake laughter. And I think just hearing that is helping me, like hearing a ton of people just genuinely happy. I watched the episode where Ricky Ricardo was doing the Straw Hat song. I've also been using this frankincense essential oil. This is really calming. I'll use this at night if I can't fall asleep, but today I put some on, like, how you wear a perfume. I use this instead. So I think this is really helpful. I also took out this vetiver essential oil. It's just quieting on it. I find this to be very grounding, and I feel like that's what I really need right now. I really need just a lot of grounding. Somewhere in this house, I have grounding mats. I used to be very into like earthing and grounding, so I wish I knew where they were because I'd start using them. And the other thing I took is this Bach walnut flower essence. I got these, I don't know, these might be 10 years old right now. I mean, I got these quite a while ago. This one says it allows you to make or adapt to major life changes. So that's why I took 2 drops of this one. I have a bunch more of these downstairs that I know would be super useful if I took these. The last time I really took these was when I was dealing with a very stressful and difficult situation. It was work related at the time. And these were amazing. I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, a lot of people say, oh no, there's no scientific evidence. I swear they make the difference between being able to function and being able to not function. So that's why I said, let me take these. Now these you could take pretty much as often as you want, although I tend to like space them out. Like I'll take 2 drops and then a few hours later I might take another 2 drops. So I have to see which other ones I have downstairs because they definitely could be useful. Otherwise, I'm laying here with a blanket on top of me and I'm trying to get through an orange, which I'll be happy if I could get through. The bananas that I have aren't really perfectly ripe yet, so I'm not eating that. And I do feel like maybe I would be able to take a nap. Here's Ringo. Can you see him? I know the lighting is bad, but he's hanging out over here with me. I feel like the best time for me to take a nap, if I was to take a nap, would be around now, so that I would be awake and more active later in the day, because the best time to put any more traps out would be like later this afternoon, because I don't think Sammy's going to be running around at this hour after she was out running around scared all night. Today, a lot of the neighbors are going to see the missing cat flyer. It's 1 p.m. now. I've been relaxing on the sofa, and I've been in contact with a few people, and there's a local woman helping me with regards to, getting Sammy back to the yard, and now she thinks the next thing would be to definitely put some traps out. So she told me a few things to buy that are kind of like her little secret with regards to attracting cats to the yard or to a trap, and one of them is liquid smoke. So I spoke to her on the phone yesterday, and she's like, yeah, definitely get some liquid smoke, and thankfully I had some. And I actually put it all around the backyard. And I think I mentioned this previously. I also, she said, put out some dirty clothing. So I went in my hamper and I got some dirty sweatpants and I put them outside. I really think doing those things helped bring Sammy back to the yard. I didn't see her in the backyard, but she was in the yard. I hadn't seen her in the yard for over 24 hours before then. So she gave me a few other tips with regards to like where to set up the traps and how to set them up and what else to put outside. So we're going to do that later, but I still want to relax. But what's going on here is that my pulse is finally going back to more normal for me. Right now it's still a little bit high in like the mid 60s, but when I first put this on my finger, it was at like 57. Which for me is more normal. My normal is like around 60. This is my normal because I tend to be a very laid back person. I don't tend to be like an anxious person. I don't tend to be a nervous person. And that's why like this situation with the anxiety is just so difficult for me, because this is not how I usually function. I was watching a video about anxiety and they're saying, yeah, just feel the fear and do it anyway. But I don't feel it as fear. And that's the difference. Like if I'm afraid of something, I feel fear very differently than how I'm feeling this anxiety. It's just a different feeling in my body. And then I watched another video that says, well, when you get symptoms of anxiety, it's the same exact thing as excitement. And you can't go from like an active emotion like anxiety to doing something calm, like waiting in a waiting room, for example. That's why it was so difficult for me, like the other day when I was in a waiting room and I was filled with anxiety. Like I had to move around, I had to pace. They said, but you can go to like the opposite emotion that's very similar. So for anxiety, that would be excitement. Because, you know, when you're excited, you have an elevated heart rate, your adrenaline's pumping. It's like really, really similar to anxiety. And so I might try that. I mean, I don't want to get excited now because I'm trying to, you know, relax and get some rest. But maybe later, if I get gripped with anxiety again, I'm just going to try to flip it to excitement. Maybe when I'm, you know, trying to get Sammy trapped and back to the yard, I'll flip that over to excitement. But right now, that's not going to be the case. Here's Nancy. Hello, Nancy. I didn't realize she was hanging out near me. So I did another Instacart order. I ordered more of the liquid smoke and a bunch of cans of tuna and some more food that I think I might be able to eat. Just some like canned soup, some hummus. I did order tapioca pudding. I've decided that I'm just not going to eat it at night. So maybe if I just eat it like in the middle of the day, I'm not going to get as badly congested from it. Oh, and I ordered popsicles. I just went to the kitchen to get some more Pedialyte to sip on, and I had to take care of one of the security cameras pointing out the front door. It was hooked up to a battery pack, so I hooked it up to the wall. I didn't think it would reach yesterday, which is why I hooked it up to a battery pack, but it reached to the outlet. And then I went to the mailbox, and this is what I got. So this is a sympathy card from the animal hospital where Stella was when she passed away. Here's Richard. Hey, Richard. And it has a very nice handwritten note from the vet who saw Stella, who, took her in and, made her comfortable when I dropped her off there. And to me, something like this just really shows me all the difference between the animal hospital she was transferred to and the original emergency room that she went to, because nobody from the original emergency room has followed up with me to see how Stella is doing or to offer their condolences. Nobody there. She was there for 3 days. She saw various doctors, various vet techs. Nobody there gives a shit. All they care about is themselves. It makes me so angry because I've seen the stuff that these people are posting on their own social medias, and it's all like, oh, look at me, I'm a vet. Oh, look at me, I'm in the operating room with some animal that is cut open and I'm just going to take a selfie. Absolutely disgusting. And when I think about it, it makes me mad, and it really just gets my blood boiling, and it just kind of invigorates me and gives me purpose to move forward with a potential claim against them. So I have to see about that. But you know, that's not my goal today. Maybe tomorrow I'll continue working on that. My goal today is making sure that I'm taking care of myself. But this is just such a prime example of the difference between like a good animal hospital and a horrific animal hospital, a good vet and a bad vet. What I have here is one of the vomit blankets from Sharon. I was using it the other day when I was cold because not only are these great for like vomit blankets, they are just like, they keep you so warm because it's like having like a super insulated blanket on top of you. Like it reflects your body heat back to you. And that's what I was using it for. But Richard wants to hang out with me, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this to the floor. And then Richard, what he usually does is he comes and he hangs out here right next to me. Sometimes Nancy and Ziggy does also. Here's Nancy. She's hanging out on the sofa with me. This is one of her favorite spots. She hasn't been here in a while. The Lucky Seven have been feeling Sammy's loss more than the OG4 have been feeling Stella's loss. At least from their outward behavior. Like there is a marked difference among the behavior of the Lucky Seven. They are not their carefree selves right now. They are like quiet and subdued and fearful. And like normally they're all like running around the house, headbutting each other, meowing to each other. Like there's definitely a sense of joy among them, which is not here right now. And even over the past few days when I've tried to, just be like very lighthearted and happy, especially around meal times, they're like nowhere to be found. I think the quicker we can get Sammy back, the better. Everyone that I talk to thinks like we're really close because, Sammy was in the front yard last night. I saw her on the sidewalk last night. So it's just a question of luring her closer to the house and hopefully into a trap. But if I do see her again, I'm not going to call her name. I'm just going to maybe like shake a bag of treats or like wave the spider around or something like that and see if she will move toward me versus run away. It's just I was so excited to see her yesterday. And I honestly thought that, when she saw me and heard me say her name, that she would run toward me instead of away from me. It's 2:11 p.m. and Nancy left. But here's Boo, and let me tell you what just happened. So I was getting ready to, lay down and take a nap on the couch. And all of a sudden, it's like someone rushes up to my front door and starts banging on it. And I'm like, is that the Instacart order? I'm like, usually Instacart people, like I say, leave it at the door. They just leave it at the door. Maybe they'll ring the doorbell, but usually they just leave it at the door. So I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe it's someone who saw the cat, because I put the flyers out. So I rushed to the door and it's my neighbor. It's the neighbor whose yard I searched yesterday. And I said they have like that deck like outside that I thought would be a perfect hiding spot. Well, he wanted to tell me that his brother-in-law, who lives like on the ground level of the house, it's like a 2-family house. So on the ground level is his sister, his brother-in-law, and his uncle, and then he and his daughter are upstairs. So the sister and brother-in-law have a dog, and they take it out for walks off him. And the brother-in-law said that like 2 days ago, he took the dog out for a walk and a little black cat went running out from underneath the deck. So he wanted to let me know about that. So I thanked him and I said that I saw that yesterday when I was looking in the yard. I said I thought it would be a perfect hiding spot for the cats. And I, told him I gave them a flyer with my cell phone number on it. So if they see her again, please just text me. And I let them know that, I saw her last night and she ran away. So I'm just trying to lure her back and, get her back in the house. So that was really nice. So all the neighbors are so concerned about Sammy. That is definitely very helpful. Right, Boo? Right, Boo? Right, Boo? Here's Richard. So all the cats went like scattering when he was knocking on the door, except for Boo and Splash. They're still in the dining room, but everyone else went running. It is 2:27 p.m. Let me tell you what just happened now. So I just got a phone call on the Sammy hotline. Like I have a separate phone number set up for this with a separate ringtone. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's one of the neighbors. So I pick up the phone
And it did not sound like anyone that lives around here. And they're like, yeah, I'm calling about a cat. And like, he didn't even know what he was talking about. And I'm like, okay. And he was cutting in and out, like he was on a bad connection. And he's saying something like, oh, I'm calling from the Humane Society. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if someone's calling from the Humane Society, they're not going to be on a cell phone that cuts in and out. They're going to be like on a landline, and it's going to be a professional sounding person and not this person who sounded like completely unprofessional. So then I said, okay, yeah, well, where are you located? And he goes, Newark, New Jersey. Like he's asking me a question, like Newark, New Jersey. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, Newark, New Jersey is so far away. Secondly, anyone who finds a cat around here is not going to be taking them to Newark, New Jersey. They might take them to the local shelter, but they're not going to be taking them to all the way to Newark, New Jersey. It makes no sense. So then I grab another cell phone and I start recording, and I say to the guy, okay, I need you to repeat everything. I'm going to record this phone call. I'm setting up the recorder right now. So start again. Tell me what your name is. And he starts cutting in and out again. And I'm like, and tell me where you're located. And then click, hang up. Now, I was warned yesterday that like anytime you put a missing pet poster out or something like that, you are going to get scam calls, and like not to give anyone like certain information, and always kind of try to vet the people, especially when you get a phone call that says no caller ID like this one. So I'm just documenting this also. There are freaking scammers out there that are trying to like get money out of you or who knows what. I mean, it's like a joke. These are my Bach flower remedies. I went downstairs and I got them, and I took some of them. I took the walnut. I took mustard. I took clematis. Mustard says it brings back joy and cheerfulness when gloom descends for no apparent reason. Well, I have an apparent reason, but I took it anyway. And walnut allows you to make or adapt to major life changes, so that's good. I also took the clematis, helps you live more actively in the present rather than in the future or in your own dream world. I took that because I'm basically just trying to live day by day right now. I'm just trying to get through the day. I don't think I took the wild oat. I don't think I took the holly. And I definitely did not take the wild rose, but these are the ones that I had. And I'm definitely noticing a difference after taking these. I only took 2 drops of each. The best way that I could describe it is like the sharp edges have been rounded off. Like imagine you have like a wooden square with very sharp edges inside of you, and it keeps poking you from the inside. The best way I could describe it is this makes me feel like it's not like a sharp pointed square inside of me anymore. Like the edges are rounded. So it's just a more comfortable feeling. And I'm actually looking online now to see if I should get some other varieties that are specifically for what I'm dealing with now. And I found a few, so I might place an order online. Some people think there's no scientific evidence for it, but I don't care about that. All I care about is feeling better. These are the other 2 that I took. I took the vervain, which helps you to relax when you are over enthusiastic or strongly driven. And then larch instills a greater sense of self-esteem when you feel inferior, fear, failure, or lack of confidence. So I'm probably going to take more of these later. I find that if I take these 2 or 3 times a day, I definitely feel a difference. It is 4:14 p.m. and I just got woken up out of a nap. So I shut my eyes a little bit after 3. I was listening to some meditation videos, and I must have fallen asleep because all of a sudden I just got startled awake from like a sound of something falling or crashing. And I was like, what's going on? And, you know, my nerves are shot already. Like, my anxiety's high already. So I'm feeling it right now. But I'm so happy that I was able to take a nap. Like, even if it was only 45 minutes. Oh, my God. I got to get up. And I got to put some traps out. And scoop the litter. And do water for the cats. And take their dinner out. Straighten up the kitchen, put the liquid smoke in the yard. There's a lot I need to do, but I'm not going to force myself to do it. Whatever I get done, I get done. I'm going to move slowly and deliberately. I just took another dose of these flower remedies, and now I'm like ready to get up. Like I could totally feel them working after like 5 or 10 minutes. It is almost 6 p.m. The sun's just about gone down, and I have this trap set up here. This is where Sammy was spotted on the security camera last night at 12:35 a.m. So I'm going to leave this here. There is a little security camera pointing at it. I just have to make sure that it's pointed in, you know, the right angle. And there's also another trap set up in the back. Now, this trap has a blue blanket over it. Now, I took that blue blanket off of the sofa downstairs. Tonight, I am not putting any other food out other than what is in the trap. There's a little tiny bit of tuna in the heated kitty cafe, which I have near the back fence, just because my neighbor said that they saw her under their deck a few nights ago, because I figure maybe if she's still in their yard, she'd smell it and come into the yard. Once she comes into the yard to eat that, then I put a trail of liquid smoke from there to the trap. That's what the people that are helping me told me to do. So the challenge tonight is going to be making sure the food stays warm and does not freeze. Because if the food is frozen, she's not going to want to eat it. And it might not even attract her. So I'm hoping the scent of this blanket will attract her. She'll think it's one of her tunnels and she'll go in. I'm also debating on hanging the spider in the trap. So maybe she'll see the spider hanging there and it'll lure her in. So I think I'm going to do that. The problem that I have, though, with that is, I mean, any other animal is going to end up in this trap. It could be the possums that walk around. It could be any of the other cats that walk around. I was telling one of the people that are helping me that the problem that I have is Ox is in the yard and he keeps eating all the food that I put out for Sammy. And they're like, well, just let him get trapped. If he gets trapped once, it'll freak him out enough to, like, leave. You know someone else is feeding him, so that's fine. Then it clears him out of the yard, and it makes Sammy feel safer to come back in. So that might happen tonight. I don't know. Maybe he's too smart to go in a trap, which I'm hoping. I'm hoping Sammy's hungry enough to go in a trap, and I'm hoping she does that before, like, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I plan on going to bed around that hour, hopefully. I mean, I took a little nap, so I'm hoping I could stay up that late. Not that I want to. I'm hoping she goes in these traps much sooner than that, but I don't know. I don't know. We can only hope and see. So here's what's going on back here. I took this bed from downstairs and I put it here, so hopefully the smell will attract her. The Christmas tree is still here. And I took another blanket from downstairs and I put it over this trap. This trap is on top of, like, a little rug just to keep it off the ground. And then this path goes to the little heated kitty cafe. On the other side of those fences is where my neighbors saw her in their yard the other night. So hopefully if she comes from that direction, she'll be attracted to the food because those bowls stay warm, and then follow the liquid smoke here and go in the trap. It is like 32 degrees out. 2 other things were suggested. One was that I go sit outside for a while and maybe, like, she'll hear me or smell me and come into the yard. I'm not doing that because it is too cold outside and I feel like I'm drained just setting up the traps. So if my resistance was higher, if I was feeling better, maybe I would do that, but I'm not doing it now. I can't chance that. I can't chance feeling worse than I already feel. Today was a rough day. The other thing they said is to put one of the other members of the Lucky 7 in a carrier and put them outside in the carrier, maybe with a towel on it or something to keep them a little bit warm. And then, you know, keep them out there for a little while, not a lot, not a long time, just a little while to see if maybe it'll attract Sammy. But I'm not doing that either because I feel like the cats are traumatized by everything that has happened over the past week, with Stella not here anymore and now with Sammy not here anymore. I'm definitely afraid that if I put them in the carrier, take them outside, they're going to think, like, okay, they're not here anymore, and all the other ones are going to be freaked out, whoever witnesses it. So I'm choosing not to do those. Hopefully she'll show up sooner rather than later, and hopefully she'll go in one of the traps. The only thing I haven't done yet is hung spiders in the traps. I want to see how many spider toys I have, and it does require me to cut the string off of the wand and then knot them to the inside of the trap. Like, there's no other way to do it. So that's why I have to find the toys. I just found another one of the spider toys downstairs and I cut it off the wand and I tied it in the trap so it is directly over the trip plate. I've been keeping the back door open like this pretty much like all the time since Sammy disappeared. And what I'm noticing is that none of the cats go near the back door anymore. They used to love to look out the back door, But they don't do that anymore. Like now when I need them to be like sitting here by the back door, possibly attracting Sammy, they don't want to do it. And today I realized that the reason why they don't want to do it is they're afraid that they're going to go out the door. So that's what's going on. It's 6:34 p.m. You just heard me. So that's Ox. He came up to the back door to smell the bed. And then he went and he ate some of the crunchies that are in the heated bowl. I can't put any more food out for him tonight, even though I would like to. I just can't do it. Hopefully he's not going to go in the trap. Here's Nancy. Hello, Nancy. She's in Boo's room. And, you know, people often ask me, like, isn't it hard to take care of 7 cats? And, you know, it can be challenging. There have been challenging days. But taking care of 11 cats is a walk in the park compared to what I've gone through over the past week. Like, this is the worst thing that I've ever experienced with regards to the cats. This is just intense. And hopefully, when Sammy returns and we get her back in the house, everything else is going to be a walk in the park after this, because that was a little scuffle in the hallway. Taking care of 11 cats is ridiculously easy compared to this current situation. It's 10:45 p.m. Look at what's going on in Boo's room. So check this out. Here's Simba. You see Simba? You know who that is over there? That's Nancy. This is Nancy and Simba. So they've been hanging out together. I saw them in the hall before. And a few minutes ago, I was walking past this room, and what happened was Simba was here where he is, and Nancy was like, she was up by the window and she was walking this way. And as she was walking this way, Simba like jumped out at her and like ambushed her. And she stopped and she was like, what's going on? I think Simba wants to be friends with Nancy. There could be a budding friendship, right, Nancy? Simba, you gonna be friends with Nancy? You gonna be friends with us, Simba? You wanna play with Nancy? I just went outside because I had to get something out of my car, and I took a flashlight with me and I went around like the side of the house. Not the side where I have a camera, on the other side of the house. I did not see Sammy anywhere like in the bushes or anything. I thought she might be in there. I actually should see if I have any extra cameras, so then I could actually put a camera on that side of the house. Also, the problem is you really can't see anything because there's too many like shrubs and hedges and stuff. Like, it's not like a clear path like the other side of the house is. Hello, Nancy. Nancy's making biscuits on the blanket on the bed. So I was able to eat more today than I have on previous days. And I just finished eating some peas with steamed shrimp and butter. I just love that meal. It's always very easy for me to digest it, and I love shrimp. And shrimp are very high in taurine, which helps with like panic attacks and anxiety. So I'm hoping I'll feel better from eating that. But at least I'm making progress in the right direction, and I really plan on just relaxing the rest of the night, hanging out on the couch, watching TV, maybe taking a nap. If I do take a nap, I'm going to set like a timer for like, 30 minutes or so. And that'll be that. I was downstairs earlier today and I was trying to play with the Lucky 7, but nobody wanted to play with me except for Ziggy. And I gave them some food. They only ate about half of their dinner. So actually I'm going to go down and give them some more crunchies. First, I'm going to give the OG4 some crunchies. And Nancy's up here with the boys, so she'll probably want to have some crunchies with them. Right, Nancy? I was thinking about trying to put Nancy in a carrier and taking her outside, because I figure if she goes outside, she's just going to be meowing and meowing and meowing, and that might attract Sammy. But whenever Nancy sees the carrier, she flips out. It is 3:15 a.m. and here's Simba. Hey, Simba. So I've been laying on the couch, and what I did is I set an alarm on my phone to go off every half hour. That way, every time I doze off, it wakes me up every half hour, and I look at the security camera footage, and I see if there's been anyone in the yard.
And it's been very quiet tonight. Very, very quiet. Like nobody's been in the yard. It's 22 degrees out. That's why. It is so cold out. So I decided that I'm going to shut the traps. I'm not going to bring them in. I'm too tired right now. So I just went outside and I shut them. That way, like there will not be an animal trapped in them the rest of the night. I need to get some sleep. You know, I thought I was going to be able to do this half-hour thing like the rest of the night. I can't do it. I don't need to be sick. So I need to get at least 5 or 6 hours of solid sleep. So I'm going to go to bed now. I'm going to hope for the best for Sammy. Hopefully she's like curled up somewhere warm. And I put some food out. Since the traps are shut, I grabbed some dry food and I filled all the heated bowls outside with dry food. Well, I didn't fill them up, but I gave him a good amount of dry food. So if she needs food, she could come by and get it. If Ox wants food, he could come by and get it. But I am very concerned for Sammy. I don't know where she is right now. I don't know how I'm going to trap her if she's not coming by. I think she didn't come by tonight because of the cold weather, because there's nobody out there. There's no possums tonight. None of the other cats are out tonight. Like, nobody's out. So, and when I walk outside, I mean, even the ground is crunching. Like, it's like everything is frozen. And the blankets that I have on top of the traps, like they have, like they're collecting ice. That's what's going on tonight. Also, I should say, Nancy was watching me. Like, she watched me go downstairs, get the crunchies, and then go outside with them. And her eyes are all big. She's like, what are you doing? And Ziggy was laying on the couch down there. And when I went to like pet both of them, they ran away from me. And I don't know where anyone else is. Like, everyone downstairs is hiding. They're all flipped out. Like, they're all freaked out because of Sammy not being here. Another thing I should mention is that I was hit with a good dose of anxiety right after 3 a.m., which is why I decided, okay, I got to shut these traps. And now that I'm settling down into bed, I'm feeling the anxiety. I just took another rescue remedy, drinking some grape juice this time. I opened grape juice today, so I'm hoping that helps, and some water. I dread waking up in the morning because that's when the anxiety is absolutely worst. It is the absolute worst in the morning. Sometimes it is as soon as I wake up that it's the worst. Like, I'll wake up to an anxiety attack. Sometimes it's a little bit after I wake up. My ears are ringing so loudly. I have this like strange head congestion. I have like butterflies in my stomach. Although, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a form of butterflies in my stomach. I was doing so good. Like, I was doing so good. And now I'm not doing good right now. Like, I hate this feeling. I hate this feeling. I'm thinking to myself, well, can I turn this into excitement? No, I can't turn this into excitement because the adrenaline hits that I keep getting are not the same feeling as the adrenaline hit of excitement. It just feels totally different. Good morning, Boo. How are you, Boo? It is almost 8 a.m. I just got up a little while ago. And hopefully I'm doing better today. So far I am. The traps are still outside. And I was looking at the security camera footage from overnight. Like, no animals were around at all from 3 a.m. until like this morning now. Except for a few birds once the sun came up. But I could see like my neighbors walking their dogs, and they'd be like looking at the trap in front of my front steps because it has a bright blue blanket on it. Like, at night you wouldn't notice it, but during the day people are curious about it. I placed another Instacart order. I've never done so much Instacart in my life. And this time I ordered a bunch of cans of sardines and oil, because supposedly those are the stinkiest bait you could possibly use. I also ordered some more frozen shrimp, and that's for me because I'm almost done with the shrimp I ate yesterday. And if I could actually stomach that and it makes me feel better, I'm just going to eat more of it today. I've only had it for like one meal a day. And then I also ordered some fried chicken, some cold fried chicken, which I'm going to heat up because according to like information online, and you know, people that trap cats, they say the two items that they use to trap the most difficult cats are like Kentucky Fried Chicken or sardines in oil, specifically in oil. Here's Simba. That's his favorite spot recently. So last night, I think it must have been around like 1 o'clock in the morning when just before I was gonna like lay down on the couch and try to sleep between trap checks, Simba got so many pets and he got so many kisses on the head, right, Simba? And this is where he was laying at the time, and he's just super happy here. And that is one of the most comfortable sleeping bags ever. And it's just like a cheap Coleman from years ago. And here's Splash. How you doing, Splashy? I wanted to talk about anxiety today because obviously there are many different types of anxiety and it manifests itself in different ways. And not everyone's anxiety is the same. The anxiety that I've been dealing with is 95% physical. Like, it's just a physical response to my experiences and the situations that I have been in. And it's my body's physical response to the stressors. And it's manifesting as anxiety. The anxiety that I am feeling is from the neck down. I do not feel anxiety from the neck up. My thinking is not filled with anxious thoughts. Occasionally, I might have some kind of negative anxiety-inducing thought, but it happens instantaneously with regards to the physical symptoms. And a lot of people want you to believe that anxiety is only a mental illness, but that has never been my case. Whenever I'm dealing with anxiety, it is always physical for me, which is why I'm able to manage it through like vitamins and rescue remedy and those flower essences and things like that. And I know if that is the case for me, that is also the case for many other people. I'm not saying it's the case for everyone. I'm saying it's the case for many other people, or at least some other people. And if you try to look that up online, you're corralled into the thinking that anxiety is purely mental, and especially through AI. And that's what I hate right now. Anytime I Google anything, especially on my phone, the first result I get is like AI generated. And the vast majority of the time, it is wrong. But I am old enough and experienced enough to recognize that it is wrong. It makes me very worried for the younger people who are more inexperienced, who will not know that it's wrong and will just like blindly listen to it. So that is very, very concerning. But I feel the need to put this information out there. Some people might be offended by this information. Some people might get upset by this information. I don't care. I'm sharing my truth. I am sharing my experience. My experience of anxiety is that it is a physical issue. I feel it from the neck down. Can I try to control it through the use of thoughts? Yes, I can somewhat control it through the use of thoughts. It will not totally go away by thinking differently about it or by trying to change my thoughts to make it go away. I can use my thoughts to deal with it the same way that I can use my thoughts to deal with like a cold or a flu or any other illness. Like say I had food poisoning. I could use my thoughts to get me through that in a positive way, or I can use my thoughts to get through that in a negative way. So it's the same thing with the anxiety I'm dealing with. And that's how, if I try to change my outlook on it, say, oh, I'm not anxious, I'm excited, it's not going to work all the time and it's not going to really have an effect on it because it's not mental. I could tell myself it's okay to feel this anxiety and just continue to, go on with your day-to-day activities and just try to eat even though you're nauseous. But that's the same exact things that I would tell myself. If I had a flu, for example, and I was nauseous, I would still have to tell myself, okay, well, you feel horrible, you're nauseous, but you still have to eat. Or if I had the flu and I was weak and extremely fatigued and I didn't know how I was going to get through my day, I would still have to tell myself, okay, well, you can do it. You just have to get one thing accomplished today. You just have to move slow. You have to do little things. It's the same exact thing, at least for me. And no one considers a cold or a flu a mental health issue. So that's why I say that not all anxiety is a mental health issue. Some of it, for some people, may be. But I am a person where I feel the anxiety in my body. 95% of the time, it is not triggered by some kind of thought process. And I am explaining that my anxiety manifests as a physical issue. It's 8:47 a.m. Here's Boo. I put the toys on for them. I have to vacuum over here. I am starting to get my energy back. Right, Boo? I actually feel really good right now. I'm starting to get my energy back. I'm starting to just, I don't know, feel like I'm getting back to normal. And I know this is only temporary. I know I'm not going to feel like this all day, but I feel like it right now. So I'm going to take it. If I feel like this for 5 minutes, I think it's great. If I feel like this for a half hour, that's even better. I still need to take a shower. I stink. I smell so bad. It's those darn ketones. I'm still registering as like a small amount of ketones, not a trace amount, a small amount. People say that if you find ketones in your urine, anything more than a trace amount, it says that like your body's not utilizing them. So it means your body's making ketones, but it's not actually utilizing them as fuel. I don't know how true that is, but I do know that if you're losing weight and your body is burning fat, it's generating ketones. So yesterday I had between 1,200 and 1,300 calories, which has been the best day so far. So today I'm going to try to get even more calories than that. So far this morning, all I've had is some grape juice. How you doing, Boo? How you doing, Boo? But here is what I have to keep reminding myself, because this is the mistake that I made 2 days ago. I was starting to feel better and get my energy back, and then I went out and I overdid it and I ran myself into the ground again, and I can't do that today. So even though I'm starting to feel better, like I might let myself do something like walk into my neighbor's yard and look under their deck to see if Sammy's there, but I'm not going to be doing like anything strenuous. I'm probably still going to lay on the couch and work on my computer today. Yesterday, I laid on the couch, but I didn't get any work done. Like, it was no working. It was just like laying on the couch and just trying to feel better. Today, because I'm feeling a little bit better already, I'm going to actually try to be productive while I'm laying on the couch. But that's my goal. I need to, continue to rest and relax and just focus on my personal care as well as, whatever the cats need. But I'm just so happy to be moving in a positive direction, and I hope I can continue to move in this direction. Another thing that I realized this morning, when I got the phone call from my neighbor who's walking their dog, and they said that they saw Sammy. Actually, I don't even know if I told you this. So, because there was a lot going on at the time, I had to revised the Instacart order, and then Grandma Farrell called me. So what happened was I got a phone call on the Sammy hotline, and it was somebody walking their dog. They said that they saw my missing cat. So I said, oh, where did you see it? And then they mentioned like a street corner. And I was like, when did you see it? And he goes, well, right now I'm walking my dog. And then he gave me a house number. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, I'll be right out. Thank you so much for looking out for the cat. So I rush around and I grab my coat and find my boots and I'm ready to go outside. And then he texts me a photo and it's my neighbor's cat. Now, my neighbor's cat is like dark gray and white. So, people keep mistaking my neighbor's cat for, Sammy, who's a little tuxedo, which is black and white. So as soon as I saw that, I said, oh, no, that's my neighbor's cat. Thank you so much for looking for her, though. I really appreciate your help. And he apologized also. And, I thanked him again. So that was disappointing, but when he told me he saw Sammy outside and, where, because it was so close by, like I got excited, and the excitement I felt is nothing like the anxiety I've been feeling, nothing like it at all. So
I'm sorry, that theory of being able to turn anxiety into excitement, that just, to me, it doesn't hold water at all. It was a completely different bodily sensation. And also, like, the anxiety I've been dealing with, like, I get chills and I get shivers and I literally shake. My whole body literally shakes. I never have gotten that when I've, been excited about anything. I've never gotten chills of excitement. I've never, like, shaken from excitement. That just has never happened to me. So that blows another hole in that theory. It's 9:20 a.m. and I just got out of the shower and realized that I forgot to mention a key point of why my anxiety is physical and not mental, and why I'm sure the same can be said for many other people. So these are adrenal glandulars. It says adrenal cortex, and this is adrenal support. These are herbal capsules, and then this is a glandular. This is made from dried adrenal glands. I know that sounds horrible, but it's really no different than like eating chicken liver or chicken hearts or something like that. It's just made from adrenal glands. And the reason why glandulars are taken is to strengthen that particular organ. So I've been taking these every day. I find that the glandulars work best for me if I'm having trouble eating and if my digestion is off. Then I'll take the adrenal glandulars. These also work in conjunction with the herbs. So if I wasn't going through this extreme anxiety and stress, I would like take these if I was working on my adrenal glands. These are just herbs. The adrenal glands are two small glands and they sit on top of each kidney. So you have one on your left kidney, one on your right kidney. And what they do is they produce adrenaline and non-adrenaline in response to stress. They increase your heart rate, they increase your blood pressure, they increase your alertness. I think everyone knows what it feels like to have a rush of adrenaline. So it's all well and good when you have strong adrenals. They take care of your body the way that they're supposed to. The problem arises when you have weak adrenals. And if you have weak adrenals, like I currently do, then you can have the following symptoms. You could have fatigue, you could have muscle weakness, you could have weight loss, you could have low blood pressure, you could have a loss of appetite, you could have an upset stomach, nausea, vomiting, depression, irritability, anxiety, body aches, joint pain, headaches, reduced immunity, and digestive system upsets. So that's like everything that I've been dealing with, and it is because of the weak adrenals. And I just wanted to explain this to provide further information as to why anxiety can be a physical issue and not a mental issue. It's 9:39 a.m. Here's Boo. I am getting ready for my day. I'm getting dressed, and I just realized something that I think is very important and very key to Stella's situation. And that is the fact that vets do not have to serve a residency at all. Doctors, like medical doctors for humans, have to serve a residency, but vets don't. And the average length of residency training is about 4.5 years. I mean, it could be anywhere from 3 years to 7 years, but they say on average it's 4.5 years. That is years of practical hands-on training to educate a doctor to be able to work independently. Vets do not have that, but vets need that. So for a medical doctor to practice independently, they have to finish medical school, then they have to complete a residency program and pass their board exams in order to be able to practice independently. Vets do not have to do that. All vets have to do is finish veterinary school. That's it. And the fact that vets do not have to gain this valuable real world hands-on experience is why we have vets who've gotten their veterinary degree within the past few months or within the past few years who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They are completely unqualified and they are actually harming and killing our pets. Never go to a vet or see a vet without without first knowing when they got their veterinary license. That is something that I've learned from Stella's passing. That is something that I would never even really think of or realize, because I would think that they would have to serve some kind of residency or gain some kind of real world hands-on experience. But the fact is that they don't. And the fact is that many of these new vets, if you look at their social media, if you look at what they're posting online, they all think they know everything. I can tell you firsthand from someone who has hired employees, not in the medical field, but in like business fields, the vast majority of recent college graduates always think they know everything, but they don't. Even in the business field, we never hired anybody based upon their education. We always hired people based upon their experience, even if it was just internships and part-time jobs while they were in school, because we knew with 100% certainty that just because somebody has a college degree does not mean that they have the necessary real-world experience that they need in order to fulfill a position. The same applies to vets. So as I think about this, it just makes me so mad. Here's Simba. And on top of it, to not only not have to do a residency, but to be hired to work in an emergency room without any applicable real life experience. I mean, that is just mind-boggling. I'm getting the food out of the traps and it is all just like frozen solid. Look who we have. We have the neighbor's cat. The neighbor's cat was sniffing the Christmas tree. Now the neighbor's cat's hanging out in the yard. But where's Sammy? These are the 2 hand warmers that I had out in the traps. I had one in each trap underneath the plate of food. I put these underneath like a plastic storage container, and then I put the food on top of the plastic, and then these kept the food warm and not frozen. But, you know, after time, they go dead, so I have to recharge these. And then today on Amazon, I ordered 2 more. So hopefully then when I get the other 2 from Amazon, I'll always have 2 available at all times. So like when 2 are in use, 2 will be charging. It's 10:33 a.m. and here's Simba. I just went outside and baited the traps. I heated up some sardines in oil and I put half a plate of those in each trap. I also put a trail of the sardine oil like down along the middle inside of the trap. And I went over to my neighbor's yard with a bag of Temptations and Sammy's spider toy. And I looked underneath their deck. So it's not really a deck. It is a wheelchair ramp. It's the size of a small deck because it's just like not a wheelchair ramp going straight outside. Like it goes along the house and then it turns and then there's another parallel ramp down to the ground level. So it is the size of a small deck. I literally got down on my hands and knees and I was looking underneath it. There's a lot of leaves under there. And in some areas, like the decking is very low. It is definitely a place where a cat can curl up and stay warm in the winter. Because, you know, cats usually use like straw in a shelter, like Ox has been using the shelter that has straw in it. There are so many leaves under this deck that a cat can easily crawl up there and stay warm. So that makes me feel better. Also, they have what looks like one of those really old barbecues from the 50s that people used to have, like made out of solid brick. Like it's a brick barbecue. That's what it looks like to me. And then on each side of it, there's actually like a cubby hole where cats could easily be hanging out and stay out of the elements. You know, there's leaves and just debris in there, but there's plenty of room for a cat to stay warm and dry. So that's another little hidey hole, but she was not in there. And then I looked in a few other locations in the yard. I did not see her anywhere. I did not see any signs of her. But just due to the fact that there are quite a few places in that yard where she could be staying, you know, somewhat warm and dry and out of the elements, I do feel better. Because if there's a few places in that yard, I'm sure there's places in other yards that she could also be staying in. The goal is to get her back to this yard, though, and the goal is to get her into the traps. So that's why I'm hoping the sardines work today. And I'm going to keep making sure that they don't freeze. Right now it's only 30 degrees out. Then later I'm going to cook up some of the fried chicken. Now I know Sammy loves chicken, but rotisserie chicken has not been working with her. So we're going to try fried chicken and see if that works. While the OG4 are eating their breakfast, I thought I'd show you the color changing litter. So over here, this is where Boo peed last night. You know, it was actually like buried, but
I was curious to see like what color it was. So like I scooped it and exposed it. Now today we can see it's yellow. But last night, because at night it was different lighting, it looked like there was no color at all. It looked like just like the regular color of the litter. But this is how this color changing litter works if you've never used it before. So that's like a normal color. Yellow, light yellow, or even like an olive green, like a yellowish green, indicates a normal color. If this was like an orangey yellow, then that could indicate like overly acidic urine. If it was red, it would indicate blood in the urine. I think there's a darker green or a blue that indicate different qualities to the urine. So this is actually a useful tool. It is kind of expensive. It was more than $20 for the bag, and the cats don't want to poop in it. That's the problem that I have with quite a lot of the litter that we try. They'll pee in it, but they won't poop in it. And that's what they're doing with this litter. So I do have the clay litter in all the other litter boxes. This was just an experiment. Today it's much easier to eat. So I've already had a hard-boiled egg this morning, but now I'm gonna have another hard-boiled egg, a little bit of turkey deli meat, and about a half cup of baked beans. Everything tastes good, which is good because I don't have the like bitter metallic taste in my mouth right now. And I'm just gonna slowly increase the amount of food that I've been eating. I'm checking the security camera footage and look at this. Look, there's a cat in Sammy's bed. That's Ox, otherwise known as Cousin Oliver, sitting in Sammy's bed. He's not there right now because this was from a little while ago. This is from like 20 minutes ago. Why can't Sammy be in her bed? Like, where is Sammy? It's about 12 noon. I am sitting on the couch working on my computer, and I feel so calm, like I could just close my eyes and go to sleep. That's how tired I am. So I'm checking my pulse oximeter, and my pulse is getting back to normal right now. We're down at like 62, and my oxygen's at 100, which is great. So we're making progress. It's a lot better than where it was a few days ago. Oh my God, guys, look at this, look. I just woke up from a nap. It's almost 3 p.m. I took a nap at 12:30. And look at Ox, Cousin Oliver. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is in that bed. Oh. I thought it was Sammy. I honestly thought it was Sammy. So when I woke up from the nap, I grabbed this phone to look at the security camera footage, and I looked at this and I said, oh my God, it's a black cat, that's Sammy. So he's been laying in the bed since 1:21 p.m. Here's Nancy. She's been taking a nap on the couch a few feet away from me. I can't believe what a good nap I just got. Like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing nap. It was like a delicious nap. It was so good. I'm so happy that my body is starting to like relax more. Like, I totally understand why the cats love it here, because this is what they do every afternoon. They take amazing naps like the nap I just took without a care in the world, because I was like, you know what? I don't care about work. I don't care about videos. I don't care about anything. The only thing I care about is just taking care of myself. And it was awesome. What I was working on right before I fell asleep is a recording of Ziggy meowing and purring. Like, so when I was in the kitchen, she was meowing at me a lot. So I put my phone on the floor and it was recording audio. Then I said, I'm going to make like a recording of it and I'm going to play it outside and see, maybe it'll attract Sammy. Maybe she'll recognize Ziggy's voice or something, because I can't get them in a carrier. I tried putting Ziggy in a carrier. She flipped out. I tried Nancy yesterday. She flipped out. Unless I try it again. Unless I try Richard. Unless I try to play with them and get them to jump in there on their own and just kind of shut them in. But I figured, let me try a recording first. I was going to put like a Bluetooth speaker outside and then just play it on that. And I extended it to like an hour. So I was going to play it outside for an hour and see if it brought Sammy around. Now, because I don't have any food outside other than what's in the traps, I was fully expecting Ox to go down the street. Like, go down the street to where the other women are feeding you And that way, you know, Sammy will not be uncomfortable like coming on the patio or anything, but he's settled himself in on that cat bed for sure. And now it makes me think, you know, do I give him a cat bed? It would be either in the doghouse shelter or in the shelter with the straw underneath the house. It's 4 p.m. and that is a Bluetooth speaker on top of the trap, and it has a recording of Ziggy meowing on it. It's a 1-hour recording. So let's see if it attracts anyone over there. It is 4 p.m. and here's Boo. And I want to tell everyone who's watching this that if you feel like really bad and you're having a really bad day, just keep going. Just get through that day. Because the next day might be a whole lot better. Today is so much better than yesterday was. Yesterday was a bad day. The day before yesterday was a good day. And the day before that was a bad day. So out of the last 4 days, I had a bad day, a good day, a really bad day, and today's a better day. It's a good day so far. You know, it's not like the best day, for sure, not by a long shot, but it's a better day than yesterday was. I mean, I still have a ways to go until I have like great days, but today is such a difference than yesterday. So don't give up. Just keep moving forward, doing what you need to do, even if it's the bare minimum of what you need to do. Make very small progress, or maybe don't make any progress, but just maintain, you know, the status that you're at, and rest and take care of yourself, and then move forward to a new day. Because a new day gives you lots of opportunities. And it is amazing what a few good hours of sleep can do, right, Boo? It is so important. Sleeping well and eating well are so incredibly important. Right, Boo? I just had my tapioca for the day a little while ago. I swear by that stuff as far as making me feel better. I got my Amazon order, and so these are 2 sets of hand warmers. These are USB rechargeable, so I have to plug these in and charge them up. And then once they're charged, I can put them on and they generate heat, and I can put them underneath a food bowl in the trap, and it should be able to keep the food warm. So I'm going to charge 2 of these up. And I also got my flower remedies. I did not expect all of these to arrive today, but they did. I have my rock rose, Star of Bethlehem, olive, sweet chestnut, and white chestnut. The rock rose, it says have courage, Star of Bethlehem, neutralize grief, olive, restore energy, sweet chestnut, be optimistic, and white chestnut, calm the mind. Even though my mind is calm, this has other properties other than doing that, and I bought this in the hopes this would help calm the body, because that's what I really need. So I'm going to take these out of the boxes. I just took 2 drops of each of these, and the first thing I thought when I took the first one was, okay, these have definitely changed, because these taste like sweet syrup, and that's not how these taste. These taste like an herbal tincture. Herbal tinctures are normally made with an alcohol base, so these are like 27% alcohol, but you're only taking 2 drops. These, I'm only taking 2 drops, but they're made with a glycerin base. These taste like a medicinal syrup, if that makes any sense. They're just like a completely different texture. I just hope they work. If they work as well, that's great. This is a self-heating pet mat, and this is what I'm going to put in the Rubbermaid shelter for Ox, because I've seen him in that shelter recently. And also because he enjoyed laying in Sammy's cat bed so much, he laid there for hours today. This self-heating mat is supposed to have some kind of material inside of it that reflects a cat's body heat back onto them. It's also a lot more comfortable for him to lay on than the straw. Now, some people are concerned with, you know, this freezing, this retaining water, stuff like that. I've never had an issue with that because the shelter is located in a dry area underneath my house. Even if a cat does track in a little bit of moisture on its paws, the fact that this heats up, you know, with his own body heat,
like helps to dry up that moisture. Nothing's going to be frozen on this in that shelter. So I'm going to do that right now before it gets dark. Here's the Rubbermaid shelter. So I am going to have to drag it out. It's actually supposed to be resting on this wood, so it's not on the cold ground. So I'm going to have to like reposition everything. This is what's going on in here. There's actually insulation on the bottom, and it looks like he's made himself a nice little nest in here. This is actually a really good fit right now. So he could come in either of those doors, curl up in there. He should be super comfy, because now instead of insulation just on the bottom, insulation will be like wherever he's surrounded by this heating mat. There it is. I put it back on the wood. I actually took one of these little rugs and put the rugs on top of the wood, and then the shelter is on top of that. So I think we're good to go. I'm in the process of heating up some of this fried chicken for the traps. This is some Banquet frozen fried chicken. It's 5:30 p.m. right now. I need to scoop all of the litter boxes and give the cats fresh water. And right now is the first time in a week that I actually feel hungry. Like I feel like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. But I'm not going to do it until like I'm done doing that. I'm heating up 2 pieces of fried chicken, and one I'm going to split up among the 2 traps, and the other one I'm going to eat myself. I'm going to see if I could eat it. If not, I'm going to go back to what I had yesterday, which was the shrimp and the peas. But I think that's a good sign that I'm actually feeling hungry. Let me show you what I did over here. So this is where I had the trap last night. It was like here on the walkway, and I've had it here all day. And, you know, there's no sign of Sammy, but there's no sign of any animals because of the cold weather. Today I want to try something different. This is where I put the trap. So it's like along the front of my house, and there's actually a window here. And that window is like in the back room of downstairs. And there's actually a cat tower underneath the window. So a lot of times the cats will hang out in the cat tower underneath the window. There's also a really thick window ledge, and the cats will hang out on that window ledge. So when I was downstairs earlier, I just looked at the window and I just was like, I need to put a trap like near that window. I don't know why, but I was just like, I need to put a trap near that window. So I moved the trap here. I have not put the heater under the food yet. I need to do all that, but I'm hoping it might have better luck here than right in the middle of the walkway. I also grabbed this chair out of my greenhouse, and what I'd like to do later is spend some time sitting out here, because I was listening to a video from Sonia Fitzpatrick, the pet psychic, who I actually had a reading with before Boo became an inside cat back in 2017. She gave me some really good insight with regards to the cats with Stella Splash Boo, with Stella Splash Simba and Boo at the time. So I was watching one of her videos about how to locate your lost cat, or how to get your lost cat to come home. She says one of the things to do is just like sit outside after dark, because if they're scared like Sammy is, they're just going to hide. She says they'll hide like a week, and she says, don't worry about them like finding food. She said, you never realize how many people put food out for like stray cats, and that the best thing to do is like not worry about it. But sometimes what you want to do is just spend some time outside, like sit outside for a few hours and see if that will attract her. Maybe it'll calm her down enough to come out of hiding and, you know, come over to where you are. She said, of course, you have to do it in the middle of the night because they're so scared. That's the only time they leave wherever they're hiding. And it makes total sense for Sammy. So that's why I'm hoping she comes out tonight. So I'm going to probably try to sit out there maybe around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm trying to think how I could hook up some form of heat. Like I have a heating pad. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I could run an extension cord somewhere or what. I got to see what I could do as far as an extension cord. So then I would be able to hook up a heating pad and at least like sit on a heating pad or put it in my jacket to keep me warm. I'm actually going to go do that now before it gets dark. I have to rummage around in the garage and look for a few things. I ate a piece of the fried chicken and I'm really not feeling so good after eating it. I have like indigestion, just almost like a heartburn feeling. It's just not comfortable. I definitely should have not eaten it. I have not had fried chicken since 2021 when I bought KFC to bait the trap for Ditto. Now, it did not work for him, but I'm hoping it works for Sammy. I've heard that you don't put out the skin or the bones, just take out the meat. That's what I did. I divided it among the 2 traps, and we'll see if it will attract her. This Banquet fried chicken, I don't know, maybe it's because I roasted it in the oven, but
it wasn't crispy. Like the coating was like soggy, and it was just like a lot of coating, just like a lot of mushy coating. And there's like no chicken. It's like all coating, no chicken. So this is what's left over. Boo had one little piece of the chicken. He liked it, so I gave him another little piece. He didn't like it. I'm having a gingin. This is a hard ginger candy. These are great for settling your stomach. Hopefully that'll do the trick. I just really regret eating that fried chicken. I feel like it's really affecting my energy. It's made me tired and just uncomfortable. Hello, Boo. Hello, Boo. You gonna hang out with me for a little bit? We're gonna lay down here. I just put some canned food in this heated food bowl as well as some sardines because let me tell you what happened. I looked at the security camera footage and Ox came over to the bowl and he was smelling it and looking at it and he's like, there's no food in it. So then he walked around to the front of the house where I used to have the trap and he's looking for food around there. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put some food in this bowl. Hopefully he'll eat it. There will not be any left over. And then, if Sammy wants food, she'll go in the trap. The other option is that if he doesn't eat it, there will be some left over and maybe it will attract Sammy. I don't know. In either case, I did put some food here. I also realized that I have some freeze-dried chicken pieces. I don't think if I put freeze-dried chicken outside, it's going to freeze because it's already gone through the freeze-drying process. So I think that's okay to put out. So I put that out near the front trap as like a trail leading into it. So I'm hoping it will attract Sammy and she'll walk into the trap. And I'm thinking I need to maybe order another bucket of that because I'm down to not much at all. And the cats like to have it as a meal topper. So that's what's going on. I still have not scooped the litter or done the water yet. It is 8:37 p.m. and I just took the Christmas tree down to the road because they will actually do a rubbish pickup tomorrow morning. I saw my neighbor had put some stuff out, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're going to pick it up tomorrow. And I checked, and they are. So I dragged it along like the sidewalk and the driveway. So hopefully it'll leave like a trail scent for Sammy if she's coming from that direction. And then I also realized that I did not put any of the liquid smoke on the driveway coming from that direction. So I made a big trail of liquid smoke all the way down the driveway and, through here to the patio and actually back to the steps back here. I checked all the security camera footage. There's nobody out. Like, there's no animals out. Tonight is supposed to be a little bit warmer than last night, so maybe some critters will be out and about. The next few days are supposed to gradually get a little warmer, although at night they might get a bit colder. But then like starting either this weekend or early next week, it's going to get really cold. Like, it's going to get way colder than it is now. So I'm definitely hoping that Sammy shows up sooner rather than later. I just put the Bluetooth speaker back outside on the trap and it's playing Ziggy meowing. It'll be playing for an hour. So maybe now that it's dark out, it will attract Sammy. So in this back area, there is a motion light. That if there's motion there, it will go on. So I hope that does not scare Sammy. Also here on the patio, that's another motion light and that will go on whenever there's motion. So again, I hope that doesn't scare Sammy and I'm just gonna hope for the best tonight. It is 8:47 p.m. Here's Boo and I'm taking a little bit of Pedialyte. I forgot to drink any today. And I'm making what I had for dinner yesterday, which was the peas and the shrimp, but I'm also making a little bit of rice with it. I'll probably have some rice, guacamole, peas, and shrimp. And I need to feed the cats. And I just wanted to check in. So I'm starting to feel like drained again, like worn out and drained. And I just finished all the litter and all the water and, trying to, and I think it started this afternoon when I was like putting all the traps out, setting up extension cords and just, trying to figure out the strategy. And also eating that chicken did not help. I think eating that fried chicken set me back in my progress, right, Boo? I should not have had that fried chicken. So after I drink this little bit of Pedialyte, I'm going to have some more juice. I'm going to get the cats fed so they have their dinner. and then I just need to relax a little bit. Maybe I'll try to make some progress on a video. Mood-wise, I'm much better today. So I only took maybe 2 of these today, like in the morning. I find that's when I need it the most. These are the Rescue Remedy lozenges. I have not been taking these throughout the day like I have been previously. I think these Bach flower remedies have been working, but they work in such a subtle way. I did not have to use my aromatherapy today, my frankincense. This really, really helped me like yesterday and on previous days, but I did not feel the need to use it today. But now that I have it, I will dab a little bit of this on myself. Right now, I'm not feeling any anxiety. I'm feeling pretty relaxed. I think that nap that I took today just made such a huge difference. And just the fact that I could take a nap, just the fact that I was able to fall asleep and take a nap, massive, massive progress. More than anything right now, I'm just feeling like I need a rest. Like, I just feel like I need to rest. Like, I can't just constantly be not resting. And that's the problem that I'm having because, you know, Sammy's outside. I'm trying to get her back in. And everyone that I talked to, someone else just contacted me and told me that, yeah, the cats go out at 3 a.m. Now, I know that because Sammy's been out at 12:30, I've seen her, and she's been out at 1:30, I've seen her, and she's been out at 2:30 in the morning, I've seen her. So I know she's around between midnight and 3 a.m., and that makes it difficult for me because that's time that I should be asleep. That's time that I should be getting a really good night's sleep instead of checking security cameras and, you know, looking out windows and possibly even being outside. So that's what's making this really, really challenging. A few hours ago, I was really hungry and then I made the mistake of eating that fried chicken. But now I am kind of forcing myself to eat dinner. So I have some white rice, some peas, some cooked shrimp, some butter, and then a little bit of guacamole. I know these are all safe foods except for the white rice because I just made that today. I haven't had that on previous days. I know that all of these foods should make me feel better tomorrow if I eat these today because that's what's been happening. I'm just kind of trying to stick to foods that I know are going to have the nutrition that is going to help move me in a positive direction. I'm not really hungry right now, but I know I have to eat because I did not have enough calories today. So that is what I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to feed the cats. It is 10 p.m. and it started to snow a little while ago. There's actually snow accumulating on this cat bed, so I'm going to take that cat bed inside. And I have to go outside and grab the speaker that's on top of the trap. And I'm going to leave the traps out for a while, at least for a few more hours. I don't know. Because it's snowing now, I'm not going to sit out front. I thought I was going to sit out front on that chair that I put there. Maybe I'll sit in the greenhouse for a little bit. Like, I don't want to be out too long because I can feel myself getting worn down again, but I will give it a try. I would have to sit in the greenhouse with the door open. I don't know. It would be colder than it would be if the door was shut. But I do have the 2 little heaters in there, so I might give that a try. I need to clean up the kitchen first, though. It has been 5 days now since Stella passed, and I mean, it's also been a very tumultuous 5 days with, you know, Sammy sneaking out and running away and then trying to get her back. But, you know, I really feel like I need to take like a whole week to just kind of grieve and get back up to speed with things. Although I definitely think I'm doing pretty well. I'm not getting hit with sadness like I was. I mean, sometimes I do. I think I'm able to definitely handle it better than I was able to a few days ago. It's 11:15 p.m. I'm out in the greenhouse. It's actually pretty nice and warm in here, except I have the door open. Actually, you know what? I'm going to shut the plastic. I'll shut the plastic and that'll keep most of the heat in, or some of the heat in at least. But the door is open. I don't know if Sammy's going to come by. I don't know how long I'm going to sit out here, but you know, they said that this is something I should do. It is kind of nice and cozy out here. I've never been out here at this hour. I brought my computer with me. I brought my phone. Maybe I could get some work done. So, yeah, I plan on trying to be out here at least a half hour, if not a whole hour. I only lasted about 10 or 15 minutes in the greenhouse because it is just too cold out there and I don't want to get more run down than I've been feeling. And I just don't think it's good for me to push it. So it's snowing a little bit heavier now. I am going to move the trap into the garage and go in the front yard, get the other trap, and move that into the garage, and then call it a night. I think it's more important for me to get a decent night's sleep. Also, I don't think Sammy's going to be out because it's snowing. The other day when it was snowing at night, Sammy was nowhere to be found. So that's what's going on. I do have all the cameras, so I will check them anytime I'm awake. If I happen to fall asleep for an hour and I wake up, then I'll check them. I'll just keep an eye on what's going on. But so far, I have not seen any animals. It's been really quiet. It's another really quiet night. It's 12:11 a.m. Here's Boo. And they have, what's outside? Oh, there's a truck. Oh, it's a snowplow. A snowplow and a salter. Putting salt on the roads and plowing the snow. Here's Simba, he's back on his favorite spot. And here's Splash, and this is Splash's favorite spot. Splash, can I have a pet? Hello, Splashy baby. So the cats all got crunchies, even the lucky 7. And there's some leftover food that nobody ate in the kitchen, so if they want to eat it later, they can. How you doing, Splashy? You okay? So it's funny how lately Splash and Simba have both been sleeping in this room. I just think it's really cute. Boo's been sleeping in the living room. How you doing, buddy? No more pets there? More pets for Splashy? I'm debating whether I want to sleep in the living room or in my bedroom. I got such a good nap on the sofa in the living room. Sometimes it's really, really comfortable. That sofa is so comfortable to lay on. So that's why I'm like, I wonder if I should sleep there tonight. It might be easier because, like, when I sleep on the bed, I really miss Stella because Stella was the one to wake me up there. She was the one to go to sleep with me there. But maybe it would be different if I slept on the sofa. I just took 1 drop each of those flower remedies, the new one. And I figure today could be a good opportunity to get some decent sleep since it's snowing. And then maybe if tomorrow night's a better night, I could spend some time outside, especially if I'm feeling a little bit better. Right, Splashy buddy? I want to give Splash a hug, but I think he would flip out if I tried doing that. Splash, you gonna let me give you a hug? Splash, you want a hug? You want a hug? You want a squeezy? Let me give you a good squeeze, Splash. Let me squeeze you. You want a hug? Yeah, see? You don't want a hug. Simba, on the other hand, he lets me give him hugs and kisses. Right, Simba? Right, Simba? You got static electricity. You're full of static electricity right now, Simba. Pinch your cheeks. Pinch your cheeks. You're so cute. You're a pretty boy, Simba. Pretty boy. You look so handsome. You look so handsome, Simba. Handsome? 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 It is 12:37 a.m. I'm just about to go to bed. And look who's on my bed. It's Simba. How you doing, Simba? I don't know if he's going to stay here, but he's hanging out here right now. I just checked all of the security cameras. There's no activity on any of them other than the snowplow going up and down the road. So it's probably going to be a quiet night as far as outdoor activities. What do you smell, Simba? I wonder if he smells Stella.
Because that would be like where Stella liked to lay a lot. Okay. I can't remember if I changed my sheets before she went to the hospital or after she went to the hospital. I think I changed them after she went to the hospital. Maybe he's smelling some of the Lucky Seven because Ziggy, Nancy, and Richard were on the bed today. Maybe he's smelling them. Right, Simba? You gonna go to bed? You gonna go sleepy? No, you know what? You and Splash are gonna be up all night playing, which is great. I don't have a toy here, plus I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. Go play with Splash. If you play with Splash, Simba, you guys will have a good time, okay? You want me to get a wand? Let me see if there's a wand here. This was one of Stella's favorite games. Put a wand under a blanket. She loved playing like this. He's gonna chew the string. This is the snow that I have to go outside and deal with. It looks like we got several inches of snow that need to be cleared off. I hate snow. I mean, first of all, I hate cold weather. Winter is the absolute worst part of the year for me. I hate these short days where we get less sunlight than darkness. And I hate snow. So this is what's really making everything worse for me. If Sammy would have gone missing any other time of year, spring, summer, or fall, I would not be having such just a difficult time with it. The problem is it's because we're in the middle of the winter, like literally in the middle of the winter. And not only are we in the middle of the winter, it is freezing cold out and we have snow. And there's more snow scheduled, so... This does not make it better for me. This makes it worse for me. It's 7:51 a.m. I just got out of bed. I'm so excited right now. I was just scrolling through some news and, oh my God, I'm so happy. But look at this. Look. This is vomit. That's vomit. I don't know who vomited. I have to look at the security cameras. Good morning, Boo. Are you okay? Who threw up, Boo? Who threw up, Boo? Was it you? Oh, we got static electricity on Boo. It hurts. Hurts to pet him. And here are my boys. Here's Simba. Hey, Simba. And here's Splash. Good morning, Splash. I just found out that incandescent light bulbs are coming back. If that happens, I'm so happy. You have no idea. I hate LED bulbs. I can't stand them. I love incandescent bulbs. I love the warm glow that they give off. Especially, I hate LED bulbs at night when you're driving. I don't know if you've noticed this, but around here, the LED bulbs give off such horrible glare at night. I never used to get eye fatigue when driving at night. Never. I could drive for hours and hours and hours at night. Like if I was traveling or something, it didn't matter. I could drive, until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I never had eye strain. But lately, I'll drive 1 or 2 hours at night, and I'll come home, and my eyes will just be so tired from those stupid LED headlights. I am seriously hoping that not only are regular incandescent light bulbs brought back, but also incandescent headlights. I doubt the car companies are going to do that because... but maybe they will because it's probably cheaper to put incandescent headlights in a car than LED bulbs, which are more expensive. So maybe they will move back to that, which will help bring, the cost of cars down just a little bit. But even around the house, I went around and hoarded incandescent bulbs from the store when they were outlawed. And that way, like, I figured, okay, well, I'll have enough to last for a few years, but I've been going through them because, you know, bulbs do blow out, but just something little like that brings me hope. And I think that's what I need. I need hope right now because of what's going on with the cats and the snow. This is what's going on in the front yard. So it looks like we only got about 2 inches of snow, but it's still enough that needs to be removed. And here's what's going on back here. Yeah, it's not a terrible amount of snow, but it's just enough to be a nuisance and to waste my time and energy having to move it. It is 9 a.m. Here's Boo. Hello, Boo. I just spent the past hour or so compiling another report with regards to Stella's situation. Now, I really can't say a whole lot about this. Like, I'm at the point now where if this does proceed and I do file a claim, then there's not a whole lot that I could really freely discuss until it would get to a certain point. And then I could either discuss it at that point or still not be able to discuss it until a future point. But I just have a checklist of reports that I need to put together and like evidence I need to compile. And I'm just trying to, you know, every day try to at least knock one thing off that list. And I just got inspired to start one of the reports, and I was just typing and typing and typing and typing because I need to do it while it's all fresh in my memory. I need to do it while, you know, it's still seared into my brain as far as everything that I witnessed and experienced. So I got most of that report done. I have to kind of bring it to a conclusion, but I made really good progress there. And yeah, this is like another example of, you know, the boys just being so laid back. If Stella was here, she'd be poking me and she'd be, come on, we got to eat. Come on, you got to take your shower. Come on, we got to get moving. And the boys are not like that, right, Boo? Even Nancy is not like pestering me or anything. So our routine is off, but we'll get back. We'll get back on it. Right, Boo? And sometimes you just have to, make a new temporary routine for a while. Right, Boo? Right, Boo, right, Boo, right, Boo? How you doing, Booster? How you doing, Booster? I gotta clean your vomit. I found out it was Boo. He vomited about 4:36 a.m. Okay? All right? You feeling okay, Boo? I just cleaned up all of the vomits. Now it all just needs to dry. What I realized while I was cleaning it up is that Sammy was vocally the loudest cat in the house. Like, she was always meowing, always talking. And, you know, so it's a lot quieter without her in that respect, because just vocally she was very loud. Stella was physically very loud. Like, she didn't vocalize a lot, but physically she was the kind of cat that would poke you and like rub up against you. And like whenever she wanted me to do something, she'd like be rubbing up against me. If I was sitting somewhere like on the couch or something, she'd like sit next to me and like poke my shoulders. If I was sitting at my desk, she'd sit next to me and she'd poke my shoulders. Like, she'd literally just jump onto the chair next to me and then just start poking me. She's like, you got to do this, or I need pets, or give me some treats or something like that. So just because a cat doesn't meow or vocalize does not mean that they're not loud. Stella was physically the loudest cat in the house. Sammy was vocally the loudest cat in the house. So you can imagine that without either of them here, it's a lot quieter in many different respects. Right, Simba? It is 10:20 a.m. I took a shower. I'm getting ready for my day. It's a little later than I wish it was, but you know, I've been working on that report. There's something else that is very important that I have to mention. And this is something that I noticed after reading 3 different medical records from 3 different like vets and animal hospitals. And that is that
every vet that you talk to, like when you go to the vet and they say, tell me what's going on with your animal, and you explain what's going on to them, they are going to write it down differently than how you explain it. Some are going to write it down very close to how you explain it. Others are going to be wildly off, like that emergency room that Stella went to was. And then others of them are going to just do it in different ways. Like every vet that you talk to is going to take the notes down differently. No two vets are going to take notes the same. Some are going to emphasize certain parts over others based upon their experience. But what this has taught me is that from now on, anytime I take a cat to the vet, I am going to bring a written history with me. I am going to write everything down as clearly and as concisely as possible so there is no question in anyone's mind exactly what has been going on. And so all of the facts are presented, and so they have all of the facts, and do not make a mistake and not write down one of the most important facts. That is an extreme necessity because nowadays with like social media and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, people have lost their ability to concentrate. People have lost their ability to focus. People have lost their listening comprehension. Like it's really, really bad. So for myself, I know it is now a priority that in order to get proper treatment, I actually have to make sure that I bring a written report with me. Obviously, if it's a situation where it's an emergency, where something very unexpected happens and I don't have time to put something like that together, then that's a different story. So if something like that happens, what I then have to do is when I speak to a vet and tell them what's been going on, I have to make sure that I speak slowly. I speak one sentence at a time. I give them plenty of time to write down that sentence. And after they're done taking down the complete history, I ask them to read it back to me. Can we please go over what you wrote down? The vets might not like that, but I don't care. I'd rather go over that, make sure that's correct, because based on that is how the cats are going to be diagnosed. Based on that is how the cats are going to be treated. Based on that, a lot of their future care and future appointments will be based on that. It is of prime importance. It's so important. I'm probably going to end up making a separate video about it, but I just wanted to document this now while I was thinking about it because there's so much going on. Like there are so many aspects of the entire vet industry and specifically like the vet Stella went to. Like there's so many different facets that all contribute to everything. And there's so many things that pet parents need to be aware of that we're just not aware of because nobody talks about. Nobody's talking about this stuff. So I am documenting this and hopefully people who need to hear it will hear it and we will reduce the amount of suffering and needless deaths among pet patients.
It is 10:55 a.m. Here's Boo. Hey, Boo. And I am still getting ready for my day. And there's one other thing that is very important for me to mention. I'm going to mention it here because it is so important. And that is the fact that not once during this entire time have I ever felt like I needed to do any kind of self-harm or anything like that. Not at all. The only things I've been feeling are sadness, anxiety, and exhaustion. That's it. I have never entertained any thoughts of self-harm of any kind. And I just want to make sure that is known because that is very important. Right, Boo? My appetite is better today than it was yesterday. So far this morning, I had a banana, I had an orange, and today I decided to make some French toast. This is just one egg with some bread and some honey on top. I'm trying to see if I could consume my eggs without just eating a hard-boiled egg like I've been doing the previous days. So if I could stomach this, then that's good. It's 11:45. Boo is eating breakfast in the kitchen. Splash is eating breakfast in the dining room. And here's Simba. He doesn't want to eat his breakfast. I put everything on his breakfast that he likes. I put some of the freeze-dried chicken. I put a few Temptations. I put some Crunchies. And I put some Fortiflora. And he doesn't want to eat. He's not acting strange. He did eat last night. He ate snacks last night. But he doesn't feel like eating now. So I'm just keeping an eye on Splash and Boo to see how much they eat. And I've put Simba's food aside for him. The cats also do have some Crunchies in this crunchy tree. So he could eat that if he wants to. But I will be giving him his food in a little while, like after everyone's settled down for the day. He might want it then. We have to remember that the cats, like, their routine is all messed up because of Sammy and because I'm trying to be outside or at least awake, like around midnight, 1 a.m. Although last night I was asleep by 12:30, which was good. But the cats have been definitely eating later than they have been, especially in the mornings. I'm trying to get back to as much of a normal routine as possible. I do have more energy today. Like, I do feel like I'm operating quicker than I was yesterday. Like, yesterday I was doing everything in slow motion. I was just so dragging. But today I definitely feel like I have more energy. So the goal is to do what I can without completely draining myself. There's Splash's plate. Splash is my good eater. He always eats whatever I give to him unless it's something new. Boo ate some of his food, so I just stuck some more Temptations in it. So what happens is when I stick them in his food, then he eats like all the food around them also. Today, the cats got a hard-boiled egg in their homemade raw food, and they also got a little bit of squash baby food because it's already pureed up and it's cooked, and it really requires me to do nothing but open it up and spoon it in. I put like a heaping tablespoon in the food for all the cats, so it's not much at all. It's just a little bit. They also got some of the wheatgrass powder, alfalfa powder. I have to put their supplement mix together. Hopefully sometime today. They get like B vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, like all the various things that they need for their nutrition. I just put a few more Temptations on there. I pushed them down into the food, so he has to dig them out. The only thing that they don't get in the raw food is a substantial amount of carbs, because I do like to keep the carbs in that around 5% or less. And that's why in the past I've always topped the raw food with like a little bit of dry food because they enjoy the dry food. Also because the dry food is much higher in carbs. So if I'm giving them a dry food that's like 20% carbs or 30% carbs, when it's used as a meal topper, that percentage actually goes way down for the entire meal. So for example, if I'm giving them a portion of homemade raw food that's only like 5% carbs, and then I put like a little bit of food on top of it that's like 30% carbs, when you consider the amount of food that they're getting at 5% carbs and the amount of food that they're getting at 30% carbs, maybe it's going to average out for the entire meal to be like 10% carbs. So that's what I was doing in the past, and that's one of the things that I stopped doing with Stella, and that's something that I regret. And I should not have stopped doing that. So this is why Simba did not want to eat his breakfast. He's like, yeah, I'm not eating that. There's Crunchies in the living room, so I'm going to eat those instead. All right, as long as he's eating. As long as he has an appetite, I'm still going to put his food aside. And I'll try it again with him later. It's about 1 p.m. and I just shoveled like the patio area, the walkways, the driveway, the sidewalks, and I started my car up because I haven't started it in a few days. I let it run for a little while, and I'm just feeling like drained. Oh, I also put salt down because the front gets icy. And I'm just feeling really drained. Like I had a bunch of energy this morning and now I'm just, I don't know if it's the snow and the cold because I was out in the snow and the cold. I'm just feeling drained. Like I want to relax for a while. I do want to go to a local animal shelter and bring them like a flyer for Sammy, just to make sure that they have it. And I have a window of about 4 hours to do that. They open around 1 and I think they close around 5. So I could do that. There were other things that I wanted to stack onto that trip, like a few other places not far from there that I wanted to visit, but maybe that's doing too much. Maybe I just need to go like to one place and then be done with it, or maybe I could even email them. I don't know, I have to see. I'm sitting down to drink some juice and take my vitamins. So I forgot to take these yesterday. These are the Nature's Plus Ultra One Daily multivitamin and mineral supplement. I'm going to take one of these now. I just took one of these adrenal glandulars. And now I'm going to take these flower remedies. I'm taking 1 drop of each. It's 1:35 p.m. and I just spoke to the animal shelter on the phone. And I also emailed them. So I emailed them photos of Sammy, information. She said that that information will be circulated to everyone at the shelter. And, she's like, well, maybe you could put some traps out. I was like, yeah, I do have traps out. I said, obviously the weather and the snow's not helping. So she says that they haven't gotten any animals from this area recently. And that, they have the information, they'll keep an eye out. And she's like, did you notify this person, that person? I was like, yeah, I've done all of that. So, everyone that I talk to keeps telling me, well, do this, do that. And I've done pretty much all of it so far. So it's just a question of, hopefully Sammy will come back. So right now it did get a little bit warmer and some of the snow is melting. There's a lot of slush. As you can see, a lot of the patio was cleared off. So I think I'm actually going to put a trap out relatively soon. But I think I want to make some food first. I've been eating pretty much the same thing for the past several days. Now that I am getting more of an appetite back, I feel like I want to eat something a little bit more substantial. So I'm going to see what I have in my fridge. Look at what's going on in here. It's Ringo, Richard, and Nancy on the bunk beds. So I took the vitamins and the supplements and I feel like really relaxed, but just really tired. I don't feel any anxiety. I just feel really tired, worn out. That's what I'm feeling right now. We also have to remember, when dealing with anything like this, when dealing with grief and anxiety and anything stress related, it usually comes in waves. At first it wasn't. At first it was just constant. But then as you get through it, it becomes waves, and it comes in waves. And, at first the waves are, pretty strong and pretty often. But then as the days go by, they either become less strong or less often or both. And that's what has been going on. I feel like the really intense waves from a few days ago are just minor waves right now. So they're easier to navigate and surf. But now I feel like my body's okay, well, now you need just time to recover. My body needs a few recovery days. It is 2 p.m. I'm heating up this leftover rotisserie chicken so I can bait the traps with it. In here, I'm making some kind of chili. I have some ground beef that was in the fridge that I need to use up. Some carrots, some onions, some peppers. I'm keeping it pretty simple right now. Once it cooks down, then I'll add either some tomato paste or other seasonings. I also cleaned out the bottom shelf of my refrigerator because I had all kinds of raw chicken that needed to be thrown out. Stuff that I purchased before Stella went into the animal hospital. And I normally keep the bottom shelf of the refrigerator pretty much only for the cats. Right now there's some vegetables on it also because I bought them to eat and I haven't been able to eat them. So at least I got rid of some of the stuff that has gone bad. And later on, maybe I'll go through the other shelf because I have one shelf left that I did not clean out yet. So now that I've done that, I feel like I have made some progress today. Even if it's slow progress, I feel like, you know, I make progress and then I need some time to rest. And then I make progress and then I need some time to rest. So that's how I've been trying to get things done. I feel like I have gotten a lot done today, even though I'm still not up to speed. I mean, I got the snow cleared out. I got part of a report done. I'm making food. And I've done a little bit of cleaning in the kitchen. Right, Boo? Right, Boo? And of course the cats have already been fed. I need to defrost their dinner, though. It's almost 4 p.m. and here's Nancy. And I set up the traps. There's a trap in the front yard with some rotisserie chicken and some freeze-dried chicken. And there's a trap in the backyard with some rotisserie chicken and some freeze-dried chicken. And it's about 34 degrees out right now, so it actually feels warmer compared to what it's been out. So I just put on an extra pair of socks and a robe, and I'm going to put my long down coat on, and I'm going to go sit outside, see if I could last a little while. I think I only lasted like 15 minutes last night in the greenhouse. Maybe I could last a half hour. I don't know. It's really cold. I'm not a fan of cold, so we'll see. I'm bringing my computer with me. It's 4:02 p.m. Let me tell you what just happened. So I'm sitting down working on my computer, and I didn't even hear the trap go off or anything. Maybe it went off while I was inside. But all of a sudden I see the neighbor's cat, and the neighbor's cat's coming up and looking at the trap. And I'm like, oh my God, is there something in the trap? So I get up and I see movement in the trap. And I'm like, oh my gosh, could it be Sammy? Like that quick? But then I look and it was a bird. So a bird went in the trap looking for food. So I'll put some bird seed out. And I had to like open this door and then like move the trap a little bit. And then the bird flew out so fast. And so my neighbor's cat is now back here somewhere. I don't know what the neighbor's cat is doing. I don't know if it is under the fence. Like, I don't know where it went, but I hope it's not keeping Sammy away. Like, it's gone. Like, it was just here. I just put a whole bunch of birdseed out along that path and on the snow, so maybe a whole bunch of birds will show up and that'll attract the cats. I don't know. I just remembered that I have an outdoor heating pad. So this is like one of the heated pet mats that used to be in the shelters out here. Used to be in the custom shelter underneath the house. It's the same kind, not the same exact one, but the same exact kind. I had an extra one. So I just plugged it in. I plugged it in here because I have an outlet splitter. So I have the two, like the food bowl, the water bowl, and now I have the heated pet mat. And as I was plugging it in, all of a sudden I heard a noise, and it was Ox. He was escaping from the back door of this shelter. So I guess he was hanging out in this shelter. I guess he goes back and forth between the different shelters. I saw him like run out the back and then run that way through the bushes. So he seems to be really happy here. I just found out that I am not supposed to use a MacBook in freezing cold temperatures, basically like it is outside now. So I just shut it down and I'm bringing it inside. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let it warm up gradually and hopefully it'll be okay. If condensation forms inside, then it's an issue. So hopefully that won't happen. So the chili that I made ended up being more like a soup. I added a few extra vegetables to it and some extra seasoning. I'm going to eat it really slow just to see how I do with it. It is super greasy from the ground beef. I haven't eaten ground beef in like so long, I don't even remember the last time I did. But I'm going to give this a try and see how it sits. Look at the red bird. Look at the cardinal. That's the first one I've seen in a very long time. Also, sitting on this heated pet mat is a game changer. It doesn't get nearly as warm as like a human heating pad, but it just makes you nice and cozy. It is 5:16 p.m. I'm still sitting outside. I finished my dinner. I had that soup. I ate it really slowly because it had a lot of fat in it. But the reason why I made it is because when you eat meat, especially beef, it can be very grounding to you. And I feel like I need that right now. I feel like I need a lot of grounding because I feel like I've just been, so all over the place. I need just a good foundation. So that's one of the reasons why I made it. And then as I was eating it, I was like, my gosh, I haven't eaten something like that, probably since I was like growing up. And my grandmother made it for me. She used to make all kinds of different soups. And I remember she used to make like a vegetable soup, and that reminded me of what I was eating. She used to make like, I remember alphabet soups. Those were really good. Anyway, hit the spot. I just had one little bowl of it. And now I'm having my tapioca. I allow myself to have like a half a cup of this tapioca pudding every day. I probably shouldn't have it. This is probably why my head feels somewhat congested. It's not as congested as like a head cold, but I could feel congestion in my head, and I know it's from the dairy products. I should not have it, but I know this is like comfort food for me, so that's why I've been having it. I've been sitting out here and watching the birds, and it looks like they've all gone. They were eating all the bird seed, and Ox has been by. I think I'm gonna start calling him Cousin Oliver again instead of Ox, because I asked the woman who had him neutered. I said, "How did you get the name Ox for him?" And she told me that there was no like story behind it. Basically, they had a neuter appointment under the name of Ox, and the cat she was going to take in, I guess they couldn't trap it or whatever, but they got him and they brought him in instead. So that's how he got the name Ox, which personally, I don't think fits him very well. She was calling him Oxy. Oh, that's Oxy. For me, it's too close to Hydrox. Like, calling him Ox is too close to Hydrox. I think he looks much more like an Oliver than an Ox. Like, he doesn't look like an Ox to me at all. So I think I'm going to go back to calling him Cousin Oliver. I think it fits him better. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't think it's going to confuse him. I don't think he likes the name Ox. It's about 5:30. Here's Nancy. It's still light out. It's so nice that the days are getting longer. And I feel like I've been camping on the back step. Like, I've been sitting out in 33-degree weather for an hour and a half, but like I'm all bundled up, and sitting on that heating pad was just great. I mean, it was just so awesome. I understand why the cats would love that. I have to go unplug it now and bring it back inside because, you know, if I want to use it again, I just want to make sure it's somewhere safe. Ox, or I guess Cousin Oliver, came by to eat some of the food that I put in the heated kitty cafe. So what happened was, before I went outside, like right before I went outside, I saw him licking the empty bowls. And I knew there was not any food in the large blue heated bowl. And I knew I had not put any food in the heated kitty cafe. Now that one has stainless steel bowls. And I knew that was empty, but he was licking it. And I felt so bad for him licking that because he was trying to get any little bit of food he could get. So I opened a can of the 9 Lives food that I picked up at the Dollar Tree the other day. And I put like half a can out there, like a lot of food. And he was really happy. He ate that for a while, and then he walked off. I don't know where he went to. I'm going to go look to see how much he left in the bowl. I would think he left some in the bowl because it was a lot of food. But, I mean, he's a really nice cat, so why not give him the food? You know, I don't want him to starve. And if he could eat it and then not leave any there, so if Sammy does come by, hopefully she'd go in a trap. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to come by. It's warmer today than it has been. It's not supposed to get too much colder overnight. We might get a little bit of snow, hopefully not, just like some flurries, or we might get rain, or we might get a freezing mix. I don't know. Yeah, he left quite a bit of food, but I would say he ate probably like half of it, so that's good. I want to put some water in the small bowl. I think I used to do it backwards. I think I used to put the water in the large bowl and put the food in the small bowl, but I don't think it makes a difference because there's still that really large bowl of food. It is 7:48 p.m. and I just got home. Let me tell you what happened. It's been a little crazy here. So I decided I was going to go to the Dollar Tree to pick up a few things. I feel like I haven't left the house I haven't left the house in like the past 2 days at all. The last time I left the house was on Sunday. And so what happened was I'm in the Dollar Tree and I get a text message from one of my neighbors. And then they call me. And they say they think they saw Sammy, and they give me the address, and they, you know, give me the cross street, and then she texts me the exact address. So I'm like, okay, great. I said, I'm going to go home, grab some stuff, and I'll go see if it's her. So I came home, grabbed a flashlight, grabbed some Temptations, grabbed Sammy's toy, grabbed a carrier. I've decided I'm just going to keep a lot of the stuff in the car. So I go there, and, you know, first I put some flyers in like the 3 houses like in a row where she was spotted near. And then I just went into the backyard of one of them with a flashlight, and Oh my gosh, there were like a million cat tracks. Like if I think I have cat tracks in my yard in the snow, this was like 20 times as many cat tracks that are like in my yard. So I was thinking, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, there must be like a feral cat colony around here. There has to be. So then I was poking around and shining my flashlight around, and then I saw a cat sitting on, I don't know if it was on top of a fence or something, and I was looking at it, and it was definitely a tuxedo cat. I was trying to figure out if it was Sammy. The first thing I thought is, okay, this cat is much bigger than Sammy. The second thing I thought was that this cat has more white on its paws than Sammy has. So even though it was a tuxedo cat, it did look like it had more white, like on the bib, like a larger bib. It also looked like it was larger in general, and it looked like it had more white on its paws. Now I'm glad about that because this was not close. This was like 1.5 to 2 miles away. So when they told me where it was, I was like really concerned. I was like, oh my gosh, if that's Sammy, she is far away. I don't know if she's ever going to find her way home. But everyone else has been telling me that, you know, oh, don't worry, she's probably not more than 500 feet away. They usually stay within their area. They don't usually go too far. They're probably just hiding. And that's what I've been, you know, thinking about and hoping for. So when I got the call that, you know, she was spotted so far away, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just going to be like impossible. But I honestly don't think it was her because I did see the other tuxedo cat. And, you know, it's really easy to get tuxedo cats confused. You know, I mean, I was confused between Hydrox and Ditto for a while until I figured out that they were two separate cats and not the same cat. So I'm just really happy that my neighbor was looking out for me and that they let me know about the cat. Another thing that I did on the way home was because I had flyers with me in the car, I stopped off at like a local convenience store and I asked them in there if they could like hang up the flyer for me. And one guy's like, yeah, we could do that. And the other guy's like, no, we can't do that. But the problem is like some of the employees there don't really speak English. So, I mean, I gave him a flyer. I said, even if you could just put it on the counter where people could see it, you know, I would appreciate it. I said, you know, it's from the neighborhood close by and you'd really be helping your neighbors because we're trying to find the cat. So we'll see. I'm just about to leave. I had to pick up something here. Actually, I don't even know where it is. But I want to put some more flyers around some local stores if I can. I need to find my push pins. That's the problem. I bought a bunch of thumbtacks, but I don't know where I put them. It is 9:49 p.m. It is raining. It's just like a slight drizzle. I just got home. So after I went to look at that other cat and see if it was Sammy, I came home and then I went back out. I went to a different Dollar Tree and then I went to the supermarket. I mean, I've done how many Instacart orders over the past few days and then I end up going to the supermarket. The reason why I went to the Dollar Tree and to the supermarket is because I decided that, you know, we need to celebrate Valentine's Day. I used to celebrate the cats, you know, with every holiday. We used to have special little holiday plates and they'd have like holiday meals and holiday toys and stuff like that. There's Simba and Boo. And I feel like I haven't done that in a while. Like I used to make it really special for them and they used to really enjoy it. And, you know, life got busy, things got in the way, and now I'm going to do it again. I don't care what idiots on the internet say. I don't care. I am going to make the holiday special for my cats. So I got them a Valentine's Day balloon and I got some flowers. I have not had fresh flowers in this house probably since 2022. I think that's the last time I had fresh flowers. So I'm going to make bouquets and I'll put those around the house and that'll like brighten the mood. And then I bought some frozen shrimp and they're going to have that as a treat on Valentine's Day. And I still have some scallops left. So maybe they'll have a few scallops. I cooked up some scallops the other day and I couldn't even eat them. Like I took one bite and I couldn't even chew it. I had to like spit it out. So then I gave Boo the rest of the scallop. He loved it. I think I have 2 left in the refrigerator that are already cooked. So I'll probably give that to the cats with their dinner today. So then what happened was, I don't know, I just ended up spending a lot of time in the supermarket. And on the way home, I was like, well, maybe I'll stop in Wendy's. And then they had like Wendy's Wednesday where you get free chicken nuggets. So I was like, okay, I'll get like the smallest size French fry possible
and then I'll get the free chicken nuggets, and then I'll get a free Frosty because I have the Frosty tag. You only get the little tiny Frosties. So I ended up eating 6 chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce. I ate most of the fries. I didn't finish the fries, and I ate maybe half of the Frosty. But for me, considering that I haven't been eating really well for a week, I think that's amazing progress. Just the fact that I was able to eat it, it tasted good, like I had somewhat of an appetite. So I'm happy about that. And one of the things that I got at the Dollar Tree was a clear shower curtain liner, because I figure what I'm going to do is cut it in half and wrap the traps with it so the traps will stay dry, because I want to keep the traps out until, you know, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., because it's 36 degrees out. Like, it feels so much warmer, and it's only 36 degrees out. So I'm hoping that even though it's raining, that Sammy comes around tonight, because she wasn't around last night because of the snow, and hopefully she wasn't around the night before because of the freezing cold. Like, for the past 2 nights, there have been no animals walking around, so I'm hoping tonight there will be animals walking around. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm just about to feed the cats. There's Boop. There's Splash. Simba's over there too. And let me tell you the new plan. So the new plan is that I have to be as joyful and cheerful as possible, because when I was sitting outside and I realized I really should not have my MacBook out there, I was just researching ways to find lost cats, or, you know, if your cat goes missing, how do you get them back? And that led me down, you know, the animal communicator path. And many of them post their tips and tricks online, so you know, you could do it yourself. And what they all have in common is that you kind of have to send out certain feelings and vibrations to make the cat want to come back. Especially if it's a situation like this, where there was a loss in the family, and then the next day a cat goes missing. So this tends to be something that can be quite common. Like, if a cat goes missing, many times it's because there is a loss in the family, or like a big change in the family. So that is what I am going to try to do. That is our new experiment. And the experiment is to just make it a big party in the house, let the cats have a good time, a lot of fun, keep the mood light, keep the energy up, and see if it attracts Sammy back to the house. So that's the plan. That's why I bought the cats a Valentine's balloon. I got some Valentine's plates. Even though all the Valentine's plates were sold out, I just got him some nice red ones for Valentine's Day. We got our seafood, and I still have some special canned food. And oh, I even got them some new toys. So Grandma Farrell was telling me that cats really like those like Velcro rollers, like the curlers that women put in their hair. So I got them some of those from the Dollar Tree. And we also have all the toys from Mr. Meow. Mr. Meow sent the cats a whole bunch of stuff. So the cats are going to have a good time, right, Boo? Right, Boo? It's almost 1 a.m. And it's raining. It's been raining. It's supposed to turn to snow for a little bit and then just keep raining. So I am going to take the traps in. Cousin Oliver has been in this food bowl. I don't think I put any food in here. I think he's just eating whatever is like left over in there. Bob, the large tabby that they take care of down the street, he walked through the yard. But other than that, no other animals walk through the yard. I have not seen Sammy. So I think I'm just going to call it a night. Here's the trap. You could see that the plastic's pretty wet, and yeah, just, I don't think Sammy's going to be out in this. The trap on the patio was completely soaked. With the trap in the front, like it's along the house, it does have a little bit of shelter from the roof line, but not a whole lot, so I expect this front trap to be soaked also. I'm not going to take this into the garage. I'm just going to shut it, and I'm going to leave it outside here because, I mean, it's already soaking wet. It's not going to get any wetter than it already is. It's 1:30 p.m. and here's Boo. Hey, Boo. The house is so quiet right now. And I just took a nap here.
Oh my gosh. I get the best naps here like in the afternoon. I probably took almost a 2-hour nap. Let me tell you what happened. I was going to eat some of this guacamole this morning on my breakfast, and look what I found in it. I don't know if I showed this to you. It's a pit. It's like a full pit, although, you know, I'm not 100% certain it's a pit. At first I thought it was an olive, but then I was like, no, it's too hard to be an olive. But then it has like this weird growth coming out of it. Like, it's just really strange. And I was like, okay, well, you know, this is dangerous. Like, what if somebody took a big scoop of the avocado, didn't realize this was in it? I mean, they could potentially choke on that. So that's not good. So I ended up calling the company because I wanted to let them know about this. And, you know, I filed the report. They said that they're going to send me some coupons. Great. That's wonderful. So then I sat down on the couch here and I was like, I'm just going to sit down for like 5 minutes to relax a little bit. Well, sitting down turned to laying down because these throw blankets, I have 2 of these right here, are so comfortable. They're so comfortable. And then I have these vomit blankets from Sharon. These are the ones that Sharon made to put like on the sofa. These are so warm. Like if I put these on top of these, it's just like super warm and comfy. The next thing I knew, I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to like put my head down and see if I could take a 20-minute nap. And Ziggy and Richard came to visit me just like this. And they're so soft and they're so nice. And then I was like, you know what? I only got 5 hours of sleep last night. That's not enough. And if I'm going to be up late again tonight, then I need more sleep. I'm trying to get the cats back on their schedule, so I definitely wanted to get up when I did this morning. But after I got them fed and, you know, everything done, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a little nap. Well, that little nap turned into a fairly long nap. It's now like 1:44 exactly. And when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I just have no energy. I know it's the weather's contributing to it. Also, it feels like I have stress trapped in my body, like in my arms and my legs. It literally feels like I have stress trapped in me and like my body just wants to release it. Look at what's going on here. I got like 2 little bookends. That's Ziggy and Nancy. They're so happy right now. Hello. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Ziggy. For lunch today, I air fried a piece of beautiful fresh flounder, and I'm having it with some peas. But I totally understand why some people do not like fish, because when I tasted the flounder, it's like I just can't eat it. It's like what happened to me with the scallop the other day. Except it's not as bad. Like when I tasted the scallop the other day, like I could not swallow it. It was just, it tasted so bad. And it's the same with this flounder. I know this flounder's fresh. I smelled it. There's no fishy odor. Like it's beautiful, beautiful fresh flounder. I just can't eat it. Like my taste buds have changed. Sometimes they'll go more back to normal and other times they're not. And like right now, they're not. I could eat the peas. The peas taste okay. I can't eat the fish. For some reason, the fish has a very off-putting taste to me right now. And now I understand why some people just don't like fish. Normally, I love fish. I've never had a problem like eating fish. I'm a seafood person. I love seafood. I can't even do it. So this is another, you know, situation that arises due to like stress, anxiety, grief, you know, just change. Once I started eating the peas, I was actually able to choke down the fish. I'm just finishing it now. And it's actually not as bad as it was when I tried it before I ate the peas. I just made a piece of fried chicken in the air fryer, and it definitely comes out a million times better in the air fryer. For some reason, this box of chicken just had like 4 huge pieces in it. So I'm just going to taste this piece a little bit. I hope it doesn't like mess up my stomach and my digestion like it did the other day. And then the rest of this I'm going to put outside in either 1 trap or 2 traps. I haven't figured that out yet, but that's the plan. Look at what a scam this is. So I had that big piece of chicken. I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to have like a lot of white meat or something on it. Well, it ends up that this must be a thigh or something. And it's all breading. It's like all breading and bones. Maybe this is part of like a backbone, but it's all breading and bones. This is all the chicken that came off of it. I had literally like 1 piece to taste it. And I was like, I'm going to leave the rest of the chicken for Sammy. This is all the chicken that came off of that big piece. This is all breading and bone. Horrible. These banquet fried chicken pieces are just horrible. Today I realized that I should be using a metal bowl on top of this hand warmer thing. So here's the USB hand warmer. I have it on low, and I have it inside of like this plastic storage container. I just have this storage container like turned upside down on top of it. It's like, you know, like a sandwich container. And then I just got my little metal bowl and I put some of the chicken in here with a little bit of water. And so hopefully the heat from the hand warmer will heat up the metal better than it does a paper plate. As you can see, there's her favorite spider hanging in the trap. And there's also some freeze-dried chicken. I might get a few more pieces to put near the other end of it. The sun came out and it's starting to warm up, and there's Nancy. Hello, Nancy. I just had a weird flash of like Sammy being here and looking at me, which is really weird. I don't know if it's like a flashback or what. This is what I took with my lunch. I took an adrenal glandular. I took my adrenal support capsules, 2 of these, and I took one of these Nature's Plus Ultra 1 daily multivitamins. It's 5 p.m. and here's the little Richard. He's watching Cousin Oliver. Here's Ringo. Ringo's watching Cousin Oliver. Do you see how big Ringo is? Do you see what a long cat he is? He looks so tall right now. There's Cousin Oliver. So I put some food in the bowl, basically leftover food. Whatever it was left over from breakfast, I scraped together on a plate and I put it in this heated bowl. There are some leftover sardines in the heated kitty cafe in the back. There he goes. He's walking over. There's sardines in the heated kitty cafe in the back. There's water outside, and there's food in the traps. So what Ringo just did was he ran downstairs so he could look out of one of the windows downstairs and see if he could follow where Cousin Oliver is going. I keep hoping that Sammy will come by, but I haven't seen her yet. But thankfully, a good deal of snow has been melting. Like, you can see where the footprints are. It's almost down to grass. It is 6:12 p.m. Here's Richard. Here's Nancy. There's Ziggy. And there's Ringo. I just got home. I don't know what time I went out. I went out a while ago. And I checked my neighbor's yard. Did not see Sammy in my neighbor's yard. Then I decided that I'm going to walk around the block, see if I see her anywhere. And I'm also going to take flyers with me and flyer another square block or so. So that's what I did, and the weirdest thing happened. And I would like to take this as a good sign, but I don't know. It's just a ridiculous coincidence. So last night, when I got the call from my neighbor that they saw Sammy like on a street almost 2 miles away. After I went there and I saw another tuxedo cat that wasn't Sammy, on my way home, I passed a local convenience store. And I decided to put a flyer there. Maybe they'd be able to hang the flyer up, and then people in the neighborhood who go there might see it and might, recognize Sammy. So I left a flyer there, and the 2 guys working, they really didn't have a clue. So today, when I decide I'm going to walk around the block, I get to the end of the block, and I'm just about to make a turn when I see a woman come out of a house and get into her car. And I'm thinking to myself, should I go up to the car and show her the flyer and ask if she saw the cat, or should I not do that? So I decide I'm going to do that. But before I could even do that, or specifically walk in her direction, she rolls her window down and calls my name. And I'm thinking to myself, how does she know me? So she tells me that she's my landscaper's wife and that's where they live. So I immediately tell her that I'm looking for my cat. And she goes, I saw your flyer yesterday because I work at the convenience store, so I made sure to hang it up for you today. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you worked there. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I have a cat of my own. It's going to be one in June or July. I forget what she told me. And I was like, oh, so it was only a little kitten. She's like, yeah. She said it was one of 7 and the mother died, so she took that one in. And I was like, oh, that's very nice of you. So she said that she knows what it's like to have a cat, and she hopes her cat never goes missing. And she said that she'll be looking for the cat. And I had a very nice conversation with her for a little while. Told her, I saw Sammy tonight, and, the weather's been so bad.
So I just thought that that was such a strange coincidence that, just last night I get the impulse to put a flyer in that store. And then today I just happened to be walking around the block and just happened to be reaching the corner when she just happens to be getting in her car. And I think to myself, should I talk to her? And before I know it, she's rolling down her window to talk to me. And then she ends up being my landscaper's wife and working at the convenience store and being the person that actually hung up the flyer. I mean, there's just so many coincidences there that I would really like to think that maybe it's a good sign. So then I went and walked around like a square block and put flyers around, but then I ran out of flyers. So I came home, I got more flyers, and I finished that square block, and I said, well, while I'm out here, I might as well just hand out the rest of the flyers. So I started handing out the rest of the flyers. So I had to walk down a block to get to like where I left off. And another woman was just coming out of her front door as I was passing her house. So I said to her, excuse me, have you seen a small little black and white cat? And she goes, oh, I got that flyer the other day. No, I've been looking for her all over the place. And I said, oh, thank you so much. And she starts asking me like how long she'd been missing. We had a nice little conversation. She said she has a dog and she loves animals. And she knew right away what I was talking about. And she goes, but I've seen another little gray and white cat around. And I said, oh, yeah, that's my neighbors. They live like a few houses down. And she goes, oh, so it's really nice to know that people are looking out for Sammy. And they're not just saying they're looking out for her. Like they are looking out because, if they're hanging up a flyer or if, they're telling me, oh, I saw a gray and white cat, they're obviously looking because the gray and white cat is walking around. So then I walk down the block and I'm just about out of flyers. I have like 2 or 3 more flyers left, at which point I see a man and a woman walking a dog. And so I just wait because, they're on the sidewalk. I was going to wait for them to pass. And as they were passing me, I said to them, excuse me, have you guys seen a little black and white cat? And the woman says to me, oh, you asked me that the other night. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you because it was already starting to get dark. But the guy that was with her was like, oh, but I don't know what you're talking about. So I showed him the flyer and he looked at it and they both said that they'll keep an eye out for her and, they were concerned. So, that was nice. And I handed out all my flyers. And then I walked back to the house. At this point, it was like totally dark out. And as I was getting to the house, the man and the woman who were walking the dog were like just passing my house. And they were looking at the trap that I had set up in the yard. And they were looking at the sign that I have hanging outside on the trees. So it's nice to know that a lot of people in the neighborhood are looking for Sammy, but nobody's seen her. I mean, other than that one woman that saw her the other night when she said she ran, but other than that, nobody's seen her. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. At this point, I can only do what I could do. I'm all out of flyers, so I need to go print more. I don't want to spend another $50 on flyers. That's what it cost me at Staples. So I'm thinking of printing one out and then heading over to my office that, I don't really use it much because I work from home, but other people use it. And I know we have a color laser printer there. So I'm thinking if I go there, I could probably run off like another 100 flyers or so and then do it that way and not have to pay Staples for it. So that's what I'm thinking. I might do that now before I feed the cats because they've been eating pretty late. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. I'm in the process of working on some videos, so that's what I would do when I get back. But for now, I think that might be the plan. It is 9:10 p.m. Here's Nancy and Ziggy. And I just got home a little while ago. I went to my office and I printed out 240 flyers. Like I wasn't even counting. I was just printing. And as I was printing them, one of the women who's been helping me try to, get Sammy to come back home, gave me a call to check on, what was going on. Did she come back? And, we were talking about it. She was just, giving me some tips. She thinks the weather is not helping anything either. And she's like, don't give up. Just keep putting the traps out, keep putting food out, and hopefully she'll come home. Unfortunately, this woman has dealt with helping a lot of, people find missing cats, and sometimes they'll come home in days, and sometimes they'll come home in weeks or months, so, you don't know. But that was nice.
that she was concerned. And I don't know if I mentioned it either, but another woman called me before that, and she said that she'll be looking for the cat, so that was nice. And so after I printed out the flyers in my office, I took them to Staples because I know that they have like one of those big paper cutters there, like those guillotine cutters. So I knew I would be able to cut them really fast. So I went there and I just used the cutter. And then from there, I went to Whole Foods because I needed to make a Amazon return. And I looked around there. I bought a loaf of bread because the bread that I had got moldy. I had to throw it out. So now I have a new loaf of sourdough bread. And I went to Home Goods because Home Goods is right near Whole Foods. And that was difficult. That was the most difficult thing that I did all day because I always like to look at the pet section in Home Goods. I always like to look for cat stuff there. And when I was walking around the pet section there, then I just got really sad about Stella and just got like hit with a few waves of grief. You know, nothing terribly strong. It's not like I was crying in the store or anything, but just like a deep sadness because like every time that I would, you know, go to Home Goods or Marshall's or TJ Maxx and look through their pet department and their cat stuff, like it was always for Stella. It was like, oh, would Stella like this? You know, it was for the cats in general, but it was always Stella, you know, because Stella was my girl. Stella was the oldest. Stella was the mother of the bunch. So she was always like, you know, in front of my mind as far as, oh, would they like this? And then it just made me sad that, you know, Stella would not be able to enjoy any of like the new stuff that they had at Home Goods. You know, everything that I looked at, you know, whether it was a toy or a piece of furniture, I was like, oh, Stella will never have the opportunity to enjoy that. So that was sad. And I didn't want to make myself sad, so I left the store. I had no idea that just going there would make me sad. Like Home Goods used to be one of my like favorite stores, like one of my happy places. And like right now it's not because it's just too much sadness to look at their pet section right now. Even more so than going to like Petco or PetSmart. Although that's going to be difficult also. The last time I stepped into a pet store was, you know, to buy stuff for Stella while she was in the animal hospital. That's the deal, Nancy. How you doing? You guys ready for dinner soon? I was telling the woman that called to check on Sammy, I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm working the night shift now. I feel like I'm working the night shift and I have a new job. And so that's what it's like. I said, it's a lot of work, and she agreed. And, you know, she says a lot of people say that because the cats keep such late hours when they're, you know, out wandering around on their own. Look how cute Nancy is, though. Look how cute Nancy is, though. Right, Nancy? Nancy, you're so cute. Are you a cute girl? Nancy, you're a cute little baby. You're a cute little kitty. You're a cute little kitty, Nancy. I gotta clean up the kitchen. I might make myself some peanut butter and jelly on toast. Do you see someone out there? Nancy, you see someone outside? Let me shut the light so we could look out the window. It's 10:06 p.m. This is the trap in front of my house, and I feel like I can't catch a break. So I just went outside to put new hand warmers under the food bowls, and I added some canned tuna to the food bowls. And it is so windy out. Like, it is crazy windy. Like, we are getting gusts of wind up to 40 miles an hour tonight. And last night it was like rain. The day before it was like snow. Then today I'm like, okay, it's going to be a good night. And the wind is just ridiculous. Ridiculous tonight. I hope Sammy comes around tonight. I'm going to leave these traps open for quite a while. I don't know what time I'm going to go to bed. I did take that really great nap early this afternoon. So hopefully I'll be able to stay up till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I don't know, maybe even 3 o'clock. Maybe I'll try to do the thing where, you know, I set my alarm every half hour and I doze off and then I get up and check the cameras. I have a camera
pointed at this trap. I also have a camera pointed at the trap on the patio. I moved the trap over in front of the greenhouse because it was too windy. I had to actually adjust the trap because for some reason it didn't want to stay open. So I adjusted the little like latch or the hook thing, whatever it's called. And now hopefully it's staying open. And then I moved a camera pointing at it. And then I moved it over where I thought maybe it was not going to get as much wind. So that's the situation. I really hope Sammy comes by tonight. I also put liquid smoke all around the yard. I put it up and down this walkway. I put it all around the patio, in the back area. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe the wind will help by like blowing the smell of that farther than if there was no wind. I don't know. I'm afraid to put like a cat bed out there or something like that because it's that windy. Like it's that windy, I'm afraid something's gonna blow away. It is 1:15 a.m. It is 34 degrees out. I was just sitting outside for like 10 minutes calling Sammy's name. I was hoping she'd come out from somewhere, but no luck. I am super exhausted. Like I'm already in my pajamas. I'm ready to go to bed, but I figured before I go to bed, like let me just go outside. The traps are still open, so I'm gonna set like a 30-minute alarm and I'm gonna fall asleep for 30 minutes, hopefully, and then wake up, check the security cameras, and just do it over and over and over again. And maybe she'll get in a trap tonight. I don't even know if she's gonna come by tonight. It is super windy out, like really, really windy, so that might scare her, you know, if she's out walking around and then all of a sudden everything starts blowing all over the place. She might get scared by it, so I don't know. But I am super tired right now, and I really don't need to, like, get myself run down. I can't afford to do that, so I need to get some sleep.
Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.